Sky 6 looking live this afternoon here at Philadelphia City Hall in the holiday tree. Here comes the snow as a nor'easter rolls into the region. Flakes starting to fly here in Center City, and the further north you go today, the more snow you will see. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sarah Bloomquist along with Brian Taft.
Yes, and as you mentioned, the first flakes have begun to fall, but hold tight, gang. There's a whole lot more flakes set to arrive here this afternoon. Many of you could see several inches of snow. Others, not so much. Meteorologist David Murphy here to break down what really is, David, a complex forecast.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of times with these early season nor'easters, this is what you get. Right now, we do have rain that is starting to push in toward the coastal plain. And then we have that brief bit of sleet and mixing. And then north of that, the snow. And right now, the snow trying to overtake the region and beginning to filter its way down to the surface in some cases. We have had some reports in Voorhees and back in through Wilmington and back out in Lancaster over the last really 10 minutes to maybe an hour of some light snow beginning to build its way in. There's dry air at the surface, which is often the case initially, so we're having a little hard time getting this going. But now that I'm seeing this filling in Chester County, that brighter shade of gray, same thing that we're seeing down in Newcastle County and in parts of South Jersey across the river from Philadelphia, I do think that we're starting to see that light snow filter in. And even in Philadelphia, outside the station here, we've started to see just a real light snow that isn't really doing a whole lot of sticking just yet, but will be shortly. And there is the rain really beginning to pick up now in parts of South Jersey. So basically the storm moving in, and over the next hour, I would think that road conditions where you start to see that heavier band of snow set up will probably be giving us some problems with with traffic on roads. And I am now trying to see why it is you're seeing one thing on TV, but not what I've got on my computer. But in any event, we are looking at Future Tracker 6, and that is showing you that as we move forward in time, especially into the later afternoon hours and evening hours, we're going to see the rain push up to Philadelphia, and then, there we go, thank you, and then get up closer to places like Philadelphia and Chester County. You're going to start to see mixing with rain after that. 37 degrees you can see by the time we get to 8 o'clock. So obviously snowing for a while this afternoon and early this evening, but eventually that warm air pushes up and we wind up getting rain pushing in from the south and changing things over a little bit. And as we take a look further into the evening, you go into midnight, and that mixing of sleet and snow pushes all the way up close to Allentown, but then kind of recedes as we go into the overnight hours and into early tomorrow morning. So basically you can see the rain mixing in at times in and around I-95 and really pushing past Philadelphia, but never really totally making a major thrust up toward Allentown. And so the farther north we go, the better chance we do have of snow piling up. 1 to 3 inches south of Philadelphia. That'll get washed away by rain later tonight. That 3 to 6 in Philadelphia, real hard to call. It mostly depends on how quickly we get that rain pushing in, but we do think that's about what you can expect, and that would be enough this afternoon and early this evening to cause problems on the roads. Then 6 to 10 inches in the immediate northern and western suburbs, and finally you get up to Allentown, and we are going to pile it up there. Good news for ski resorts up in the Poconos, about 15 to 20 inches there. Keep in mind, again, this is heavy snow, so you want to be careful trying to lift it out of the way when you do get out there shoveling. Guys?
All right, David, what a difference several miles will make with this storm. Thank you.
For sure. You can get that forecast anytime on the 6ABC app and 6abc.com. Brian and I will be back throughout the afternoon as needed. Stay safe out there.
Well, we told you it would. Now the nor'easter has arrived. Snow falling across much of the region right now as Sky 6 gives us the beautiful live picture outside Philadelphia City Hall, and snow now falling on the Christmas tree there. That storm just getting underway. It'll be hitting us through tomorrow morning.
The snow totals will be the highest in the Poconos and the Lehigh Valley, and down at the shore and in South Jersey, this will be all rain. Now this video coming in a short time ago from Pottstown, Montgomery County. The snow falling here steadily along Arm and Hammer Boulevard. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sarah Bloomquist.
And I'm Brian Taft. We're coming to you once again here to bring you the very latest on the track and timing of the storm. And of course, the big question, how much are we going to get? We'll begin now with our team of meteorologists, Adam Joseph and Cecily Tynan, live in the Action News Weather Center. Cecily, let's begin with you today.
And are you in the Christmas spirit yet? I'm singing, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. We haven't had a winter storm like this in about 2 years. And Storm Tracker 6 live double scan showing that the precipitation has arrived right on schedule schedule. And like we mentioned yesterday, you get about 10 minutes of the light stuff and then thwap. The system intensifies really quickly. So you can see that snow rain line just to the east of the New Jersey Turnpike along the I-95 corridor. It's snowing. We've got some rain, some heavy rain along South Jersey, central and southern Delaware. And there are some pockets of some real heavy snow as well that's reducing visibility. And some of this is beginning to stick on the untreated surfaces. So please be careful driving. I think a lot of us are out of practice driving in the snow. Philadelphia right now, we have a moderate snow, but where you see the pink shades, kind of like my sweater, that's where we have the heavier band of snow, and that's beginning to move into Wilmington. That will reduce visibility. That will coat those non-treated surfaces really quickly. And this is really the heaviest snow right now in Salem County. That continues to move up to the north. And where you get the heavier precipitation, it typically does cool off the temperatures. So that can also add to the sticking on the untreated surfaces. Here across South Jersey, as we've been saying, this is mainly a rain event, and we do have some heavy buckets of rain moving through Cape May right now, another one west of Millville, and this will continue to move up as that storm system intensifies. Storm Tracker 6, a wider view showing that low pressure right now is sitting off the coast of North Carolina. We've got high pressure to the north, so the combination of the two pulling in those winds out of the northeast off the ocean. That low pressure will be tracking up the coast, kind of hugging the coast, and it'll be gradually intensifying as it does. Temperatures, you can see Philadelphia 30 degrees, Allentown 24, certainly cold enough for snow with those winds out of the northeast. Where you have the wind out of the northeast over land, temperatures are at or below freezing. However, you get along the coast with that wind off the ocean temperature now is 46. That matches the air temperature in Cape May. And as that storm rolls up to the north, the winds will begin to shift out of the east. So that'll pull that warmer air more inland, changing some areas from the snow to sleet and even to rain. So this is what we have. That winter storm warning continues into Thursday morning for southeastern Pennsylvania, also Mercer County. We have a winter weather advisory in effect for interior South Jersey. What does all this mean, and what can we look forward to as we head through the afternoon and evening hours? I bring meteorologist Adam Joseph to
or
talk
not
about
forward
that.
to.
I'm kind of looking forward to it.
No, I get
admit,
it.
But yeah.
I get it. If it was all snow or all rain, one thing, but it's that mix that really brings in some treacherous travel as we go into the early evening hours. In fact, we look at Future Tracker, and that rain snow line should not wiggle or move all that much from where it is right now at 4:30. When you take a look at Future Tracker, the purple, that's the snow. The green, yellow, that's the rain. And notice how thin that sleet line is, that mix just to the south of Philadelphia over Wilmington at 4:30. What happens as we go into the evening hours, that sleet line will start to expand to the north and west as warmer air comes in from the ocean aloft. The winds are going to get stronger, and what the winds will do is push in about 4,000 or 5,000 feet in the atmosphere, temperatures above freezing where the precipitation generates in the clouds. So you can't start it as snow. It will start as raindrops, and that will start that shift over from snow to sleet in Philadelphia right around 7 o'clock. Rain, Wilmington by that point, still snow to the north and west. And by 10 o'clock, you can see that blue area expanding in Lancaster, all of Chester, Montgomery, Bucks County on the verge of the Lehigh Valley, of sleet mixing in here. All rain, Philadelphia to the south, as our temperatures start to push to near 40 degrees at 10, while it's in the 20s in the Lehigh Valley. And by 4 o'clock in the morning, it could start to collapse back down as snow into Philadelphia at the very tail end. Never changes to snow into parts of South Jersey, and then it's gone by 8:30 in the morning. So expected snowfall totals, nothing down to the south, 15 to 20 inches off to the north. And you can see Philadelphia right around. This is right here. Let me just push this in here. This is the 3-inch line. This is the 6-inch line. So we can see 6 inches near northern Philadelphia County, 3 inches near the airport, 6 to 10 through central Delaware Valley, and then 10 to 15 as you head up into the Lehigh Valley. Guys, we'll have much more coming up in the next hour.
All right, Adam, lots to talk about. Thank you. From our team of meteorologists to our team of reporters out there in the store, bringing us the very latest on the conditions around the region.
Yeah, that's right. Jeff Cherico is live in Abington Township, Montgomery County. Katie Castro live in the Lehigh Valley. Katie, let's start with you in Allentown, where they will see a lot of snow by the time this is all over.
Oh, they definitely will, Sarah. And first, I want to give you some updates that we just got in about a couple of cancellations because of the snow coming down. Allentown's Lights in the Parkway display is canceled for tonight, and the city's also closing the recycling drop-off center off of Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Now let's talk about the weather around me. You can see the snow is sticking to my coat, and it is sticking to the sidewalk. I want to just bring you out here so you can see down this way. You can see the snow has started to stick, and let me just bring you down to the ground so you can see what this snow looks like. It is pretty light and powdery, sticking here on the sidewalk, but if I show you what the roads look like, this is a testament to what PennDOT crews did last night. They brined the roads, and you can see it is not sticking out here on the roadway. You can see cars are getting by just fine, but you can see that the snow is sticking to the top of the cars here. So it is coming down, and it is coming down fast. So that's the very latest of what's happening here in Allentown. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Okay, Katie, thank you. We want to go now live to Montgomery County to check on the conditions there.
That guy in shorts and a t-shirt?
I didn't. I missed it.
It was a poor fashion choice today, sir. Jeff Chirico live now in Abington Township. Jeff, it's snowing where you are as well.
Yeah, better fashion choice here. My gloves, my hat, heavy coat. It's what you need out here right now. And you can see, much like Allentown, we've got snow. The roadway's fairly clear, right? But it's sticking on some of the colder surfaces. This started about an hour ago. A little after 1 o'clock, we saw the first flakes begin to fall. And once we get over here, you can definitely see how much has fallen. If you look at the covers of the windows, on the cars over at the Acura dealership within the past hour, definitely about a half inch, I would say, at least, has fallen in this area. It has been what we have been expecting. The timing a little bit later than perhaps we expected at first. And I did speak with the folks over at nearby Cheltenham Township Emergency Management, and the director there tells me that they did declare an emergency at noon today. No cancellations for that township, but they are looking at a number of models, and they too are unsure exactly just how much we are going to get. But if there is any good out of any of this, is that they are not expecting major power outages, because they do expect that it will get warmer, turning to rain as we are hearing potentially, and therefore eliminate the idea of a lot of ice taking down power lines and taking down trees. So that is the good news right now. We are seeing significant snow falling again within the past hour, but traffic here on Old York Road moving along just fine for now. So that is the very latest here in Abington Township. Jeff Chirico, Channel 6 Action News. Sarah, Brian, back to you.
Okay, Jeff, thank you. And take a look at this adorable video sent to us by Tina. Lucan is a 6-week-old puppy who lives in Wilmington, and as you can see, he is loving his first snowfall. We want you to keep all those photos and videos coming. We may show yours on the air.
Maybe a little German Shepherd puppy there. Very pretty dog. Well, from shoveling to making snowballs and all the fun you're going to have out there today. Plenty to do when the snow comes later tonight. So send your pictures and videos to 6abc.com/share. We will feature them right through the afternoon and evening right here on 6ABC.
And this is just the start of our coverage as this nor'easter rolls in, bringing with it a lot of rain and snow. You can continue to track the forecast on the 6ABC app and on 6abc.com. We will check back in with you at the top of the hour. For Brian Taff, I'm Sarah Bloomquist. Have a good afternoon. Snow is falling across much of the region as this nor'easter is really getting going now. Sky 6 showing us a live shot here from right outside City Hall. A pretty holiday scene there with the Christmas tree. The storm will be with us throughout tomorrow morning.
Now the Poconos will see the most snow from this, and down to the shore in South Jersey, mostly a rain event for those of you there. A short time ago, the action cam in Pennsauken, New Jersey, Cooper River Park quickly blanketed a pretty picture of snow there. The wind, though, really blowing that snow in just about every direction. Good afternoon once again. I'm Brian Taff.
And I'm Sarah Bloomquist. We continue our coverage to bring you the very latest on this storm. Let's get right to our team of meteorologists, Adam Joseph and Cecily Tynan, both live in the Action News Weather Center. Cecily, give us the latest.
And Sarah and Brian, the storm system is really intensifying. Storm Tracker 6 live double scan showing that we do have that heavy rain along the coast, interior South Jersey, also central and southern Delaware. But along the I-95 corridor, this is where that snow is falling at a pretty good rate. Where you see that purple, that's the snow that's falling at the rate of about 1 to 2 inches per hour. So Salem County right now, it's moving into Wilmington, and this entire line is pushing up to the north. So that heavier snow will be moving into Philadelphia within the next half hour. Already you can see the shades of white showing that lighter snow beginning to show that pink with that heavier snow moving in, continuing to work up to the north. Areas to the north right now, this is where the snow is the lightest, but this is also where the snow is going to be holding on the longest, and the snow amounts will be the highest there. A wider view showing that low pressure off the coast of the Carolinas, it will continue intensifying, kind of hugging the coast, moving up. So you can see we have several more hours of the storm before things dry out. And as the storm intensifies, it'll begin to pull in winds off the ocean. That will warm up the atmosphere in some parts of our region. For more details on what to expect, let me bring in meteorologist Adam Joseph.
Yeah, and Cecily, what's happening at the present hour here is that we have visibilities that are also very low. So you've got that blinding snow about a half a mile Philadelphia, near a mile for Reading, Allentown, half mile in Lancaster. But we have the rain. You can see the visibility far better. 8 miles Toms River, 6 miles Millville, 8 in Dover. But no matter what, you're dealing with low visibility and untreated roadways starting to get covered by that snow. And then you have ponding on the roads, even though that visibility is far better in South Jersey and Delaware. Here are those winds. We've got winds out of the northeast right now. So when it comes over land, it captures and keeps that cold air in play. 28 Trenton, 30 Philadelphia, 31 Wilmington. But that same wind off of the water is in the 40s right now with the ocean of 46. However, as we go into the evening, those winds are going to start to shift out of the east, and that's what's going to invade that warm air and bring the changeover line all the way by 8:30 back to the Pennsylvania Turnpike as everyone to the north of Philadelphia in Chester, Montgomery, and Lower Bucks County goes to sleet. Philadelphia south, it is rain at that point. So as we take a look at what to expect with that mixing line and that changeover for the I-95 metro area, it will snow for the next few hours. It goes to a mix between 5 and 8 o'clock. 5 in Wilmington, 6 or 7 Philadelphia, 8 in Trenton. An extended period of sleet and rain along I-95, and it could end as a period of snow very late tonight, early tomorrow morning with just an additional coating, Sarah.
All right. Thanks, Adam. Let's get outside now and check in on conditions all around the region.
Action News reporter Taronda Thomas live in Chester County. Taronda, you're in downtown Phoenixville right now. Beautiful picture behind you.
I mean, you really can't ask for much more when it comes to a white Christmas, right? The snow falling, it's gorgeous, but it also can be dangerous. Now, the snow started falling at about 1 o'clock. I want to give you a look at what it's done already to the sidewalks and to the roads. We've got less than a quarter inch of snow probably right here. Not to trip you up if you're walking fast, but on the roads, that's what we really need to pay attention to. The slush that built on that road in only about an hour. So people out here in Phoenixville know that this is something they'll have to contend with. That still hasn't stopped them from getting out, though. Take a look at the video we got earlier today. You know, people were out doing some of their holiday shopping. They said they wanted to get things done at the last minute before the snow got too bad. And so we found quite a few people doing that and grabbing last minute grocery items too as well. So they were out there doing that. The roads, though, those are what people were talking about. By the time the snow had started falling for only about 30 minutes, the roads are already starting to get wet and slushy. Those people, though, who were out running those errands say they plan to act quickly and get ahead of the snow. Take a listen.
This won't take long, and I'll go home and enjoy it very soon. I won't stay out long.
I'm set. I got my ice scraper in the car. I live in a complex, so I don't have to worry about shoveling, so that's good.
But this guy does have to worry about shoveling. He's getting everything cleared out on the sidewalk in front of his business. This area could take the brunt of the storm, so we will continue to follow around and let you know how the snow goes. We're live in Phoenixville. Taronda Thomas, Channel 6 Action News.
All right, very good, Taronda. Thank you. And the snow didn't get a chance to stick to the ground before Brooklyn in Levittown, Bucks County, ran out to celebrate. That's one happy kid right there. You can see her dancing around as the first flakes flew. And keep those pictures and videos coming our way. Send them to 6abc.com/share. Sarah, lots of kids and
love
parents
this.
excited about this.
Very excited.
Yeah.
We have hours to go. You can always check the forecast at 6abc.com and on the 6ABC News app. We'll be back throughout the afternoon. And, of course, our full coverage coming up beginning on Action News at 4 o'clock. I'm Sarah Bloomquist along with Brian Taff. Enjoy the snow this afternoon.
Stay safe.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program.
Now at 4 o'clock, the winter storm is here. It's the powerful nor'easter our team has been warning about for days now, triggering an AccuWeather alert. From snow to sleet to rain, the region getting a little bit of everything right now, depending on where you live. It is Wednesday afternoon, a wintry one. I'm Brian Taft.
And I'm Sarah Bloomquist. The big story on Action News is this winter storm hitting right now, creating some treacherous conditions. Mobile 6 is out and about right now, traveling along Market Street. They're in Wilmington, Delaware. You see they do have some accumulating snow, but this area now on the verge of switching over to some sleet. So they'll see a mix of precipitation here in Wilmington shortly. We do have our team of reporters spread out all around the region.
But first, we begin with meteorologists Adam Joseph and Cecily Tynan standing by now in the Weather Center, tracking the very latest, and a lot to track here, Adam.
Yeah, and this low is a coastal low nor'easter, and as it hugs the coastline from the Outer Banks of North Carolina through the Mid-Atlantic and the Delmarva, it is pushing in that warmer air for southern areas. So as anticipated, you can see our region getting whacked by heavy snow, sleet, and very heavy rainfall as we close in here. A lot of colors really lighting up here on Storm Tracker 6 Live. We've got that lighter snow in the white, Allentown, Reading, back to Lancaster. In and around Philadelphia to Wilmington, you can see these purples. That is that moderate to heavy snow band. And then you have this little area of blue. That is the sleet slicing through southern Camden, Gloucester County, Salem County, and then very heavy rain off to the south. So as we take a look at the radar itself here on Storm Tracker 6 Live, there's that sleet line right around Glassboro. That is where meteorologist Chris Sauer's mom lives, and she says it is sleet there now after 2 inches of snow. And you can see that is pushing towards Wilmington, rain to the south. But we can flip the radar and take a look at a more accurate and precise slice into the atmosphere. This is our dual pole mode, meaning we're scanning the atmosphere in the vertical and the horizontal with the radar. And this mode is called the correlation coefficient. And this shows the more smooth pink colors. That is all snow in the atmosphere because the particles are all the same. But where we're starting to mix the raindrops and the ice in the atmosphere, then you start to see the jagged nature on this part of the dual pole mode. And there is where you have that sleet. And that will continue to sneak in from the south as we go into the evening hours. In fact, meteorologist Cecily Tynan has more on how that I-95 corridor over the next several hours is going to go through quite a transformation.
Absolutely. Right now, we do have that steady snow in Philadelphia. That will be continuing, but we're seeing that changeover from the south to the north along I-95 between about 5 o'clock for Wilmington through about 8 o'clock for Trenton. So what this means is once we do get that changeover, we have an extended period of sleet mixing with rain. And then as that storm system exits tomorrow, the colder air will collapse in. So it'll likely end as snow and could get an additional coating on top of what we're getting this afternoon and this evening. Visibility shows you where it's really snowing heavily right now. Philadelphia, visibility down to 1/3 of a mile. Another reason why you should not be on the roads right now because it's real tough going. Trenton, less than a mile. Reading, that visibility down to a 1/2 mile. The same in Lancaster. Along the coast, no problem with visibility because as expected, they're not getting the snow, they're getting the rain. But in addition to the rain, they're going to be getting some very high winds. Future Tracker showing by midnight those winds out of the northeast anywhere from about 30 to close to 50 miles per hour. We do have a high wind warning in effect along the coast. Sky 6, this is taking a look in Sea Isle City. First of all, you can see Sky 6 shaking a little bit with the wind. You can also see the heavy raindrops. It is pouring at the shore right now, and that will be continuing for the duration of the storm. Temperature along the shore, 43 degrees with the wind off the ocean. That wind warning in effect with wind gusts possible up to 60 miles per hour. Moderate coastal flooding, especially at tomorrow morning's high tide, looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain. We'll have more details on what to expect after this storm system coming up in the full AccuWeather forecast. Brian.
And it should be said, Cecily, that so far the storm is behaving exactly as you predicted.
So far.
Thank you. As we've been saying, some of the worst snow will be north and west of Philadelphia. That's where we find Action News reporter Katie Catcho live in Allentown, Lehigh County, where they are ready for the larger, more significant accumulation. Katie.
Brian, I gotta say, it just started to get bad here in about the past 10 minutes or so. The snow is really coming down hard out here, and you can see the sidewalk behind me is covered. But if I bring you out here onto the streets, you can see The snow is starting to stick. We did not see this earlier again. In about the past 10 minutes, we started to see it stick. This is part of those treacherous roads that crews were telling us about. Really important to stay off of them if you can.
I needed to go get some milk and eggs.
You came out to get milk and eggs?
Mm-hmm. Just that. My kids are always eating milk and eggs.
While some people waited till it was too late to get ready for the storm, others got a head start this morning before the snow started to fall by filling up their tanks.
Everybody's out last minute, everybody's filling cans, and I guess we all waited until it was too late, almost. I didn't even realize that I was out of diesel till about 8 o'clock last night, and I thought, well, if I can get out in the morning.
The snow started to come down around 1 p.m. and hasn't let up since. We caught up with some people who got out of work early because of the snow, enjoying the walk home.
I like snow. I like it near Christmas. I love Christmas time when it snows. I like it.
The snow hasn't been sticking to the streets, a testament to the work crews have been doing. We started to see plow trucks hit the road later in the afternoon. Although we did see some people bike riding on the covered sidewalks in Allentown.
It's good exercise. But I'm freezing, so I gotta head home.
That is a good idea. Head home if you can, because here on Hamilton Street, the snow just started to stick, and crews are asking that if you do get out onto the streets to please give them plenty of room so that they can do their job. I'm reporting live here in Allentown, Katie Catro, Channel 6 Action News. Sarah?
Pretty scene there with the Christmas lights behind you. Thank you, Katie. Sky 6 looking live at the beautifully decorated tree here in front of City Hall. The snow really coming down here as well. Another holiday scene. The city says it's prepared for all types of conditions coming in with this storm. Action News reporter Maggie Kent is live for us now in South Philadelphia. Maggie, how's it going there?
Hey, it's going pretty well. Actually, it's picking up quite a bit right now. I'm sure you can see it in your lens, but these flakes are pretty husky. I want to show you a look at what the roads look like right now. We are on Front in Oregon, and you can see that it's starting to get pretty slushy out here. There's that mix, kind of messy mix, kind of gross out. We did see that Streets Department was coming in. They were salting this area. No plows down yet. I don't think they would do any good at this point, but as you can see, it's getting kind of treacherous, a little bit slippery out here on the roads. Salt is spread on the asphalt. Fire burns in a steel drum to warm cold, working hands at the Christmas tree stand.
The first snow is always a bit of magic because it makes everything seem cleaner, and it makes this year especially, which has been challenging, it makes it a little more bearable and a little more festive this time of year.
It's go time for the Streets Department workers in charge of keeping the roads salted and safe. And for private companies too. The flakes bringing back memories of her children for 83-year-old Elizabeth Moto.
All I remember is them being young and happy playing.
All right, we're right by the entrance to 95 as well. Still a lot of people out here on the roads, a lot of people at the grocery store, a lot of people at the bank today, not heeding the warning to stay inside. So hopefully they do so soon. PennDOT issuing a 45-mile-per-hour limit on the highways, and for good reason. And as you can see, the snowflakes just hitting me right in the face. This is what winter weather is all about, and that weather coverage. Oh, all right, Brian, we're in South Philadelphia. I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.
You're doing great, Maggie. Enjoy it. Thank you so much. Well, the snow has been falling for a few hours now in Montgomery County. Action News reporter Jeff Chirico wiping the flakes off his face there in Jenkintown. Jeff, you've been there all day long. How have conditions changed where you're standing?
Hey, Brian, I imagine Maggie was hit by some gusts of wind, and that's what we've been seeing here, too. A lot of wind here along with that snow. This is Old York Road. You can see it is a bit slushy right now. That has continued to get worse over the past hour or so. Hey, folks, and over on this side street, we just saw a crew come through here and plow this as well. But because this is falling during what some say is quarantine, this snowfall, this big storm, is welcomed by those young and old. Flakes began falling just after 1 along Old York Road in Abington Township, and it didn't take long to begin sticking. The rare snow day, a chance for these girls in Jenkintown to get outside and build a small snowman, albeit a wobbly one.
It hasn't snowed in a year, so I'm really excited to get to play again. I'm so excited because we have a snow day tomorrow, so we're off completely, and today we had a half day.
We saw borough workers salting parking lots and roadways, and local restaurant workers hauling in their outdoor tables for the night. West Avenue Grill owner Dan Katz says he'll reopen first thing tomorrow if road conditions allow.
As long as, Uber drivers and DoorDash drivers and people can come pick up, I'll open.
If nothing else, the snow is offering scenes we haven't seen in a while. And for those who now work from home, a big storm like this isn't such a headache.
We're all trapped inside anyway. We're in quarantine, so probably ideal. Don't need to go anywhere, so it makes it a little bit more fun.
Yeah, maybe fun to sit inside and look out the window. If you, there are some restaurants still open here in Jenkintown Borough if you're able to get there. Also, Montgomery County officials say that their street crews are out across the county right now. And however, they are saying that COVID testing is canceled for tomorrow, much like I expect a lot of other things will be as well. Reporting live in Jenkintown, Jeff Cherico, Channel 6 Action News. Brian.
Okay, Jeff, thank you. Well, as the snow started to fall in Middletown, Delaware, Tracy Kelly sent us this picture outside the window. Kelly says it started coming down around noon there.
You like the snow? Yeah.
How about that? Seems like the answer to that is yes. This is 3-month-old puppy Luna loving her first snowstorm, and it's not even over just yet. That is one cute dog there. Beth Hayden sent us this video from her home in Fishtown. So keep those photos and videos coming as the snow adds up in your neighborhood. Just head to 6abc.com/share. You might see them right here on air all throughout the evening.
All right, time for our Action News traffic report on a snowy afternoon. Matt Pellman live in the traffic center with the update. I didn't think it was going to look that great.
Buckle up. Here we go, Sarah. Yeah, I'll tell you, there's less traffic on the roads than we would normally see, but I would not say there's light traffic out there this afternoon. We're still seeing plenty, and where there are mishaps, we're seeing delays behind those mishaps. Here on 202 in Chester County, it's a single vehicle spin-out accident. The road is mostly covered with snow, and this person lost control, is facing sideways here in the northbound lanes by Chesterbrook. At least police are now on the scene, and at this point, they're getting by. Traffic's getting by on the right side of the roadway. Elsewhere in Chester County, here near Chadds Ford, as you head into Delco, there's a crash just up ahead on Route 1 Baltimore Pike. You can see the traffic's quiet here, which is good news because the road is mostly covered with snow. In Delco, we had a crash that was shutting down the northbound side of the Route 1 Media Bypass. That's now cleared out, but as we look live at the Blue Route, you can see how someone could slip, slide, and lose control. The road is mostly covered, and the southbound traffic here is slowly creeping along, heading toward 95. As Maggie said a bit ago, 45 miles per hour is all you can do on most of these highways this afternoon, and most people aren't even going that quickly. Schuylkill Expressway, you see people with their flashers on going pretty slowly in the westbound lanes. You can still see some of the blacktop here, but it's definitely becoming more covered as the minutes pass. And as we go to Bucks in Montgomery County, a whole bunch of different accidents. In Jamison, Alms House Road is closed because of one. 95 in South Philadelphia, there's a southbound crash here involving a truck by Tasker. And on 95 in Delaware, we're becoming covered as well. Also a disabled truck here in Newark. So lots to keep tabs on. We'll do that again, Brian, in the next half hour.
All right, very good, my friend. See you shortly. Thank you. Now, Sky 6 over Spring Mountain in Montgomery County. The local ski areas are very psyched about what they see. All this snow, going to be a great weekend to hit the slopes. Our coverage of the storm continues right after this.
Mobile 6 is live now along I-95 in Wilmington, Delaware. This area has seen some snow, but it's on the verge, or if it's not already, switching over to sleet. Slow going on a wintry Wednesday evening here in the Wilmington area.
All right, back now to that AccuWeather alert today. Meteorologist Adam Joseph live in the Weather Center. Adam, anybody who is going to see snow is seeing it fall right now. The question is, at what point do things turn over to rain or sleet, whatever comes next?
That transition is already happening right now. That Wilmington Mobile 6 camera, I could see the sleet bouncing off of the hood of our van there as it was driving down the highway. And let's talk about the types of precipitation that we are seeing, because what we have to look at is not only at the surface, but up into the clouds, 5,000 feet up. That's where the precipitation starts. At the shore, it is all rain because you have warm air that is stacked through the atmosphere. That warm air is starting to push inland, and as it pushes in, warm air is buoyant. It's lighter than cold air, so it rides over the cold air, and sometimes you can get some freezing rain. That's when you have a thick layer of warm air above and a shallow layer of cold Arctic air. That's not the case this go around. We are seeing sleet because there's almost a dividing line midway through the atmosphere of that warm air aloft. So it starts as rain in the clouds, and then as it heads all the way down, it starts to get into that thick cold air, and it freezes into little balls known as sleet. And then some of us, it's cold through the entire atmosphere from where it starts all the way to the ground, and it is all snow. So that is the 4 types of precipitation that we typically see in the winter season. And here it is, all those colors on the radar. This is all rain in southern parts with the yellows and the reds and the greens. Then you got that thin line of that sleet mixing in as it's pressing towards Philadelphia. Deep purple is heavy, wet snow, as well as a little bit of sleet mixing in. And then as you head off to the north, it is a little bit lighter snowfall. So again, you see some of that blue popping up near Pemberton. It's kind of dancing back and forth here. So again, that line is wiggling its way towards the New Jersey Turnpike and eventually I-95. And then we do have lighter snow as you head up towards the north in Allentown. But up there, temperatures are much colder, so it's a fluffier snow. And then we just got a wind-driven heavy rainfall in South Jersey. Temps right now with that northeast wind, it is at or below freezing everywhere I-95 north and west. That northeast wind off the water of 46 keeps it in the 40s at the shore, but that wind's going to turn more easterly. And again, that warm air invades, and then we start to switch over. So by 8 o'clock, it is all sleet in Lancaster, Chester County, Philadelphia County, and it's all rain, South Jersey and most of Delaware by that point. And that sleet line could knock on the door of lower Berks County, Lehigh County, and into Trenton. And then everything kicks away as we get into early on Thursday morning and a quiet day tomorrow. So our map stands as it was yesterday, nothing to the south, 15 to 20 inches to the north. Snow sleet mixture, 1 to 3. It's already on the ground there in parts of South Jersey, 3 to 6. Right along I-95 just to the north, and then 6 to 10 as you get into central parts of Montgomery, Bucks, Chester County, 10 to 15 for the Lehigh Valley. Your 4-day at 4 forecast: windy, cold tomorrow, returning sun 36, sun a few clouds, just 35 on Friday. Clouds to sun on Saturday, quiet 37, 40s mostly cloudy. Sunday there could be a rain shower in the afternoon. So if there's still snow on the ground, it is not going to melt anytime soon, as you can see over the next 3 days. Really cold for this time of year, Brian.
Okay, Adam, thank you. Hello again, 4:30 now. And Action News continues with an AccuWeather alert for something most of us haven't experienced since way back in 2018.
Remember
Feels like
that?
a different century.
That's
a
right.
big winter storm.
Whether it's heavy snow, sleet, rain, or wind, this system is impacting our entire viewing area in one way or another.
We've got live team coverage here this afternoon of the nor'easter from all around the tri-state area. But we want to begin with the very latest on the totals right now and what's still to come.
Let's get right over to meteorologist Adam Joseph with the update.
We having
Adam.
fun yet?
Yeah.
It's nice to look out if you don't have to be out in it. As we look at Storm Tracker 6 live, a lot going on. As it's expected here, we've got a bunch going on to the north and west, south and east, and a whole lot in between here. We've got snow all of southeastern Pennsylvania, little sleet mixing in now parts of Delaware County, Philadelphia County, and then you got that sleet line in the blue and heavy rain off to the south. In fact, let's close in and take a look here at the snowfall and also the sleet. This is our reflectivity mode. So this is our radar showing where we have that steady snowfall in and around Norristown, Willow Grove, Lansdale, up to the Lehigh Valley, Malvern, Philadelphia. But as you look to the south, you see this blue. That is the sleet line. And then you see this kind of really dark purple here. That is what is known as bright banding on the radar, showing that the radar is being blinded by some ice up into the atmosphere and in the clouds. And then we flipped the radar mode because we have dual pole, which we can slice the atmosphere in the vertical and the horizontal, so it's not just one bandwidth going through the atmosphere. And this is the correlation coefficient, where you have the smooth pink. That is all same particles in the atmosphere, the snowflakes. that is where it's snowing. But then as you go down to the south, you see all these blinding colors. That is the dual-pole radar being confused, saying, okay, I got ice pellets, I've got raindrops, I've got snowflakes in the atmosphere. So this is the changeover line in the mixing now into Swedesboro, all of Delaware on the brink of Woodbury, and also closing in to the I-95 corridor. So far, snow totals northeast Philly 2 inches, Newark 3 inches, Washington Township 2.5, same for Upper Darby, and Chester 3 inches of snow thus far. And then the shore guys, 60-mile-an-hour winds, high wind warning there, with coastal flooding at the times of high tide tonight and tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and those totals likely to be added to in some places significantly. Adam, thank you. And as Adam just said, in Berks and Lehigh counties, they're among the hardest hit parts of the viewing area with this. The snow falling fast and hard enough in Reading to pull out the shovels and snow blowers early on this afternoon. Fortunately, driving conditions weren't that treacherous there thanks to PennDOT crews who treated the roadways in advance. Now from the city to the suburbs, Action News reporter Trish Hartman has been out in Bucks County today. She joins us now live in Doylestown with an update on the storm there. Hey, Trish.
Hi there, Brian. Yeah, the snow is still coming down at a pretty good clip, and we'll show you where we are here in Doylestown, one of the main intersections in town, Main and State Street. See, nice little family here crossing the street, and it's very slushy on the roads. Good amount of cars out here. Everyone seems to be taking their time. We came up here on 611. We had a very slow go of it on our way up here. There is a snow emergency declared for the borough, so if you're on the snow emergency route, you have to move your cars. We found people who are out here trying to enjoy this snow day.
I got my snowblower primed and ready for, when it's needed. As far as driving, I love to drive in the snow. I don't feel, scared or threatened by it, so I feel pretty confident driving.
A picturesque scene in the borough of Doylestown as the snow fell this afternoon. Some even sat outside under cover with hot drinks to take it all in. At Chambers 19 Bistro, the front windows are wide open, hoping for a cold customer to stop inside.
The windows are our best shot for the open air concept as long as we see kind of within the front over here. The Board of Health has allowed us to do that.
Outside of town, traffic was slow moving on Route 611 and conditions were slick as the snow started to stick. Officials are asking people not to travel unless absolutely necessary. We found one teacher from New Jersey hoping for a snow day tomorrow.
I don't know. That remains to be seen, depending on how much snow we get and what the district decides to do.
I'll tell you, it is beautiful, a nice little early Christmas for some people who have been waiting for a snowstorm like this. Now, as we said before, every district is handling things differently. Here, Central Bucks School District had an early dismissal today and has already declared a snow day. No instruction for tomorrow. Reporting live in Doylestown, Trish Hartman, Channel 6, Action News. Sarah?
Okay, Trish, thank you. Drivers took it slow navigating the snow-covered roads in Winfield Heights. The section there in Philadelphia this afternoon. The action cam was out along Drexel Road between 66th and 64th as the visibility began to drop and snow piled up on sidewalks and streets. Let's switch live now to the scene in Chester County. Action News reporter Taronda Thomas is live for us in Phoenixville with the conditions there. It seems to be really coming down, Taronda.
Yes, the snow has really picked up out here and it's sticking to the roads. I want to show you Egypt Road. It's right here and it's a major road, but look at all the snow that's sticking to it. It's very slushy. A major street again here in Phoenixville. Not too many cars on the road though now. A lot of people we can assume are trying to get home because they knew the storm was coming, but it progressed very quickly.
We are busy. Whenever the snow, I'm very busy.
At the fall of the first flakes, some last-minute shopping.
Bread, milk, eggs, and salt, rock salt.
Phoenixville convenience stores busy with customers as crews work to get ahead. This parking lot white, but not with snow, with salt.
The roads are just slushy right now. They're okay for right now, but who knows later on how they'll be.
He called it right, with slush accumulating on the roads in less than an hour. Chester County is set to take the brunt of this storm, and that's got residents worried about the ride home.
Not real comfortable with it, but I do it. You do what you got to do, right?
That's right. Now, some people take 422 on the ride home out here, and it's off there in the distance. You can barely see those cars going, but the ones that are going very slowly, taking it easy. A plow passing by right here on Egypt Road, again, with lots of slush on the roads. And we've seen a lot of these plows with their blades up. For some reason, we haven't seen a lot of them with their blades down here on Egypt Road. Now, we know what the kids are wondering. Is there a snow day? Well, there are some in-person classes that are being offered for this district, and those classes are canceled today, tomorrow, and possibly Friday too. We're live in Phoenixville. Taronda Thomas, Channel 6 Action News. Brian?
What even is a snow day anymore around here? Taronda, thank you. How about a live look right now? 495 north, right near the Port of Wilmington. Mobile 6 making its way on the roads there. And it is slow going, as would be expected right now. I've got some sources in the weather department. They've told me that things have transitioned there from snow to some sleet. So obviously going to get more slick as the evening goes on. For more on how all this weather is impacting the evening commute, let's head over to Matt Pellman live in the Action News Traffic Center. It is understandably a mess out there, Matt.
Yeah, that's for sure. Speeds have been slipping and cars have been slipping. Everything's slipping this afternoon, Brian. Looking live here in Belmar, Camden County, we're definitely moving slower than normal. Here on 42 by 295 in both directions. We kind of like to see that. We like to see people going slowly, but we also are seeing a lot of people out here on 42 right now. Northbound headlights trying to head up toward the Walt Whitman Bridge. There have already been a number of accidents in South Jersey, not as many as we've seen in Pennsylvania or Delaware, but we've seen a couple already here in Mount Laurel along the Turnpike. Sounds like they're getting pushed out of the way, but speeds on the Turnpike and 295 right now in the mid-20s, so substantially less than what they would normally be. We've also seen a bunch of issues already in Delaware and delays to accompany. Here's 95 southbound by 202 the Concord Pike, where that merges in. It's an accident right here, kind of blocking the middle of the roadway as the snow falls. And it looks to me like 95 is not in as good a shape as 495, which we just looked at from Mobile 6. So I would stay over on 495 through Wilmington instead of 95, which is mostly slush covered with some incidents at this point. Here's 95 in South Philadelphia, also mostly snow covered. Remnants of a crash here on the southbound shoulder, but you can get by. Just do it slowly. Here's a look at Montgomery County. Yeah, we're watching a bunch of accidents on the secondary roads and on the Turnpike westbound. There's a crash between Norristown and Valley Forge. Still have this crash in Chester County on 202 northbound by Chesterbrook. This was a single vehicle spin out. The car was facing sideways. PennDOT's out here now. Traffic getting by, but doing so slowly on that northbound right side of the road. Have another crash on the Route 1 Media bypass in Delco, and nearby the Blue Route is mostly snow covered with very slow moving traffic. That's the theme across the area. We'll check it again, Brian and Sarah, in the 5 o'clock hour.
All right, Matt, thank you. Now, as the snow comes down, highway maintenance ramps up. Snowplow operators are hard at work across our viewing area right now.
Action News community journalist Matteo Iodinisi takes us to Montgomery County now to see what goes into getting ready for a big storm like this one.
Let's back you up over here a little bit more.
It's going to be a long night, and we're not going to see our families probably until Thursday.
Safe travels. Thank you.
Yeah, being away from home, being out in the cold, helping people is what we've always done. It's in the blood, but they're dedicated. I mean, these guys don't complain. They do what they're asked to do their job and do it to the best of their ability.
Jared, pull up a couple feet. Rob's in our loader here. He's going to load Jerry up with salt, and anybody else that comes in. Once the snow comes in, they'll start spreading salt to melt the snow. If you like what you're doing, it's not a job for you. I do all the Schuylkill ramps from King of Prussia down to Conshohocken. The less traffic's on the road, it's easier for us to get the job done, and actually quicker for us to get the job done, less traffic. If you have to be out on the road, we understand. Just stay as far back as possible, at least 6 car lengths. Let our operators do their job. They're the best in the business. In my eyes, there's not a bigger responsibility. You know, the storm's going to come down. The hospitals don't stop. The police departments don't stop. We want to help everybody. So that's the most important thing for me. Scoop out of here. I'll move them over there. These are our heroes, you know. I look at that as they're protecting the citizens of Pennsylvania. It's a hard job. We started actually prepping Monday. We did some salt brining, anti-icing. They won't go home till this storm's over. We're here for the duration. In the end, it makes you feel good to be able to help people.
That was Matteo Iodinisi reporting for us. Keep the 6 ABC app close by today for our continuing coverage of the winter storm. You can access Storm Tracker 6 Live radar and keep an eye on the latest emergencies and advisories issued by state and local leaders.
But first, a live look now at 30th Street Station. The snow is falling steadily. I promise you that is 30th Street Station back there. Action News continues right after this.
Today's winter storm has been dumping snow across the Delaware Valley for several hours now. The action cam was here in Pottstown when the first flakes began to fly. We spotted this man buying a snow shovel at the Home Depot, a last-minute purchase, which will certainly come in handy right about now. Meteorologist Adam Joseph has an update on what we can expect from this storm that's coming up in just a few minutes.
Here's the story. The snow continues to pile up in South Jersey right now. This is the scene at Cooper River Park in Pennsauken Township. The peaceful spot now covered with a fresh coat of snow. Along with today's snow and sleet, a big concern in parts of New Jersey are the strong wind and the gusts. For the most part, the snow has stopped there in South Jersey. It is still snowing elsewhere, but a pretty scene left behind. On that note, let's get a check now on that AccuWeather forecast.
Meteorologist Adam Joseph joining us in studio now as some areas switch over to sleet and even rain.
Yeah, and it is pouring and has been pouring at the shore. Sky 6 Live at theshore.com camera in Seattle City. We have an angry ocean there. We've got a very strong wind. We have high wind warnings. Nearly 60-mile-an-hour winds at the shore will be experienced as we go into the evening and overnight hours. But Storm Tracker 6 Live right now showing the array of colors here. The purple is the heavy to moderate snow. The blue is the sleet line. The green, the reds, the yellows, that is very heavy rainfall. So we start there from Surf City to Seattle City, Cape May, Smyrna, Middletown, Delaware, raining, Elmer to Hamilton right now. Very heavy rainfall. And then again, you've got that sleet line that is progressing to the north. And in fact, it is far north as Wilmington. It doesn't show it on the radar there, but you see those bright purples that just passed by. That's that sleet starting to break away from the solid blue line, lifting to the north there with the big fat wet snowflakes falling down. And these are snowfall rates. We're looking at anywhere between 1 to 2 inches of snow per hour. So it's a fast thump of snow at the front end of the storm before you start to see that changeover. So some pretty impressive snowfall totals in a very short amount of time thus far. But again, many areas are now shutting off the snow and kicking in the rain and the sleet. Temperature-wise, 30 Philadelphia, 28 in Trenton. We've got that wind out of the northeast right now, so it is over land, and that's where it's still below freezing. But once you start to catch it over the ocean of 45, we've been talking about this all week, how the ocean is very mild, and with the low riding close to the coast, it's going to push in that warm air to change the precipitation over from east to northwest. Right now, 44 in Cape May. Those winds gusting to 38 at the Atlantic City Airport, but those numbers will continue to go up. 35 Cape May, on the brink of 30 for Philadelphia, 36 miles an hour in Wilmington. So it is a cold wind inland. Satellite radar, there you can see the low just to the north and south of the Delmarva here. That will continue its journey to the north and east. So you see all that heavy precipitation, and then you've got that break here. So again, the heaviest will be in the next several hours going to the early overnight, and then things will start to shut off late tonight. 8 o'clock, there's that sleet, that mixture, Lancaster, all of Chester County, Delaware County, Philadelphia County, still snowing north of that Pennsylvania Turnpike throughout Montgomery and Bucks County. Lehigh Valley only in the 20s while we're near 50 degrees in Avalon. 11 o'clock tonight, it may even try to switch over to sleet as far north as lower parts of Bucks, even the Lehigh Valley, all of our northwestern suburbs with rain in Philadelphia more than likely by 11 o'clock. Pushing the temp up to 40 there, but still stuck in the 20s for the Lehigh Valley. And then tomorrow morning, the meat of the storm is gone. Maybe a couple of flakes in the air at 7:30 tomorrow morning, but far improvement tomorrow morning and as we progress through the afternoon. So expected snowfall totals, this really hasn't changed. 50 to 20 inches up into the Poconos, the Jackpot area. Nothing in those far southern areas. 10 to 15 inches Lehigh Valley, most of Berks County, and the upper part of Montgomery, as well as Bucks County. This is your 10-inch line. 15-inch line is up here. Then as you go between the 3 to 6 and 6 to 10 in the northwestern suburbs, this is where we're expecting around 6 inches near Westchester, near Conshohocken, Levittown, more like 3 inches for Philadelphia and Center City, back towards Wilmington. And we've already seen that 1 to 3 inches in those southern areas, and that changeover has already occurred. Wind chills tomorrow, teens in the morning, and stuck in the 20s all day. But hey, we'll have the sunshine returning tomorrow, but winds 35 miles an hour. The exclusive AccuWeather 7-day forecast tomorrow, far better day despite it's windy and cold, but brighter, 36. Sun, a few clouds, 35 on Friday. Stays cold on Saturday and quiet. Mostly cloudy, a shower Sunday, 42. And we're back to normal, if not a little above. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, lots of sun, maybe a shower Tuesday in the mid-40s. And that is almost at Christmas Eve, next Thursday.
Be nice if tonight were Christmas Eve, wouldn't it?
No, because we'd be stuck here working.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Very good point, Adam. More action news after this break. But first, Sky 6 in HD, looking live at Broad and JFK, right in the heart of Center City. Look at those snow-covered roads tonight. The snow still coming down. Our coverage continues after a quick break.
Okay, so this is the first big snowstorm in what? Like 2 years? So it has been a treat to go through these photos and videos from our viewers. Talk to me in February, but especially like our tiniest viewers, Sloan Rose. She has the 2020 look going on in her PJs, but hair presentable for a Zoom call. She is watching her first snowstorm with her big doggy sister, Rainy. A few hours ago, this storm was just a dusting, but Lily from Woodstown used it as an opportunity to send her dad a very important message. You can see it there. He's away for an Army commitment right now. Not easy to be far from your dad during a snowstorm, and definitely not easy to be far from him during the holidays. So lots of love to Lily and her mom, Christina, who sent in the picture. Lisa Bum from Levittown got a little dizzy as she took some video of her excited daughter, Brooklyn, dancing and twirling some more as the white stuff started coming down earlier today. And from twirling tweens to frolicking dogs, Nala and Bowie can't exactly build a snowman together, but they are using the snow as an excuse to get their energy out and then take a long nap by the fire. And then there is Buddy, who wasn't as enthused as he took a sneak peek at the snow falling outside his back door in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey, and then he quickly decided he must have southern roots.
What is that?
He just turns around and goes right back in. Yeah, I don't think so.
Thank you.
He's not buying it. All right, keep sharing your snow photos and videos. Send them in to 6abc.com/share, and you might just see them on air. I've never seen a dog who dislikes snow like that. You would think he'd be a little more curious.
Like, nope, it's a lot warmer inside.
Yeah.
Forget this.
Get a smart dog.
Yes.
Very right.
Exactly.
I do love this. I'm looking at pictures my wife is sending me of our kids out in the backyard playing in the snow. It's just great.
Finally some snowfall.
That's going to do it for Action News at 4 here today. Now for Sarah Bloomquist, Alicia Vitarelli, Aaron O'Hearn, Cecily Tyne, and Adam Joseph, the entire Action News team, I'm Brian Taft.
Action News at 5 is up next.
It is a wintry Wednesday night. Sarah Bloomquist is joining us. Shari Williams is off. And the big story in Action News is this powerful nor'easter.
A winter storm warning is in effect tonight. And while parts of the area could get more than a foot of snow, others near the coast are dealing with downpours.
We have reaction and action from our news reporters spread out from suburbs to the city and in South Jersey tonight. But our coverage begins with our team of meteorologists tracking the system. Let's start with meteorologist Cecily Tyne tonight. Hey, Cess.
And Rick and Sarah, the storm system moved in and intensified right on schedule. Storm Tracker 6 live double scan really lighting up with a lot of colors. Where you see that purple along I-95 areas north and west, that's the heavy snow. Then we have the heavy rain right along the coast, and between the two, we've got that mix of the snow, the sleet, and the rain. And what I want to do, I want to put Storm Tracker 6 in our dual pole mode. Now, what this does, it shoots the beam horizontally and vertically, and this is the correlation coefficient. Where you see all the pink, this is the snow, pretty much all the same sizes, but where you see this line here, that's picking up the snow, the ice, the rain particles, all different sizes, and you can see how that line is advancing to the north. So Wilmington now, you have flipped over to the sleet and the rain, and it's really knocking on the door of Philadelphia. It'll be moving in very quickly. Let's flip this back and show you reflectivity. Philadelphia right now, we have those heavy wet snowflakes. That's an indication warmer air is moving in aloft, so the snowflakes are actually kind of melting together. This line continues to advance up to the north, and that heavy snow is moving into the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos. It's going to be dumping. So let's talk about what to expect as we head through the evening. For that, I bring in meteorologist Adam Joseph with more on that. Adam.
Yeah, and we're going to see that transition continue along I-95. As you mentioned, it's already changed over in Wilmington, but the steady snow continues. Philadelphia to the north, but that mixing is occurring now in Wilmington. We'll be in Philadelphia next hour or two, 7 o'clock, as far north as Trenton. An extended period of sleet and rain expected right along I-95 and even puncturing up towards the Pennsylvania Turnpike. And it could end as a little bit of snow late tonight in the areas that mix and change over. but it wouldn't bring more than an additional coating. But where we have that snow, the visibilities continue to be really low. Less than a half a mile Philadelphia, at a half mile Reading, Lancaster, Trenton, a mile up in the Poconos, but far better in southern areas where you have the rain. But even though the visibility is better down there, you're dealing with a lot of ponding on the roads. In addition, future tracker winds as we go into later tonight, they will be howling off of the ocean out of the east, and that's what's bringing in that warmer air. 44 miles an hour Atlantic City, near 50 Wildwood, even inland Allentown, Philadelphia, near 40 miles an hour. And as we take a live look right now, Sky 6 at the shore.com camera in Seattle City, you can see the promenade. It is wet. The ocean, it is angry, and we do have a high wind warning in effect for the shore. Winds 45 there. Winds could gust up to 60 miles an hour, moderate coastal flooding at the time of high tide early tomorrow morning. 1 to 2 inches of rain. Cecily will be back soon with what to expect. Rick, a very cold, windy day tomorrow as well.
All right, Adam, thank you. Let's switch over now to Action News reporter Chad Badelli, who is in Reading tonight, covering the impact of the snow there. And Chad, that area could see significant snowfall before it's all over.
Yeah, Rick, take a look. I mean, old man winter is really bringing the hammer right now. It's been snowing consistently since about 2 o'clock this afternoon, but really picked up here in about the last hour, hour and a half. A picturesque scene here at Penn Street in 5th, right here in Penn Square. You can see the Christmas tree there. The traffic has been brisk. It's a slow go if you're on the roadways as the accumulation is beginning. I'd say right now we got about 2 to 3 inches. In downtown Reading, some people got a head start on the cleanup. Rory Applegate owns a jewelry and clothing store in Penn Square.
I'm just trying not to have any lawsuits from people slipping and falling. That's basically it.
This is just an appetizer of what's expected in Berks County, where the main course is possibly more than a foot of snow.
So during this snowstorm, I'm going to ask once again to please, let's be good neighbors to one another. Let's look out for the elderly.
Reading Mayor Eddie Moran says salt is in abundance. Salt trucks have been out in force. The roads are getting slick. City leaders are urging people to stay off them. But that didn't stop some last-minute shoppers trying to take advantage of sparse crowds. Reading had a holiday feel.
Dude, I love it, man. I've been waiting 2 years for this, man. I've been praying for this, and I'm out.
I honestly like the snow. I like walking out in it, and thankfully I don't have school, so I don't have to wake up in the morning and deal with it.
And if you live here in Reading, the mayor says trash and recycling pickup will be delayed a day. I'm live in Reading, Chad Pradelli, Channel 6 Action News.
Accumulation on the hat, too, as well. Thank you, Chad. Here's a live look out at Front and Oregon Avenues in South Philadelphia at the moment, where we've been seeing snow steadily falling during the afternoon and evening. It is snow covered here. The roadways are, and slow going here as well in the city of Philadelphia. Let's head out now to the Roxborough section of the city. Action News reporter Annie McCormick is live from there. Annie, how do things look in that neighborhood tonight?
Well, Sarah, I want to give you an idea of the accumulation out here in Roxborough. This area right here has been untouched since that snow began to fall this afternoon. This sidewalk here just 20 minutes ago was cleared by a snowblower, and you can see how much is piled up there. Taking a look at Busy Ridge Avenue over there, you can see how the streets department has been laying down that salt, and now it has that crunchy kind of mix of snow out there to help with traction for drivers. The Action News van began navigating the streets of Manayunk and Roxborough as the snow started to fall. The narrow and hilly roads this section of the city is known for became a problem fast.
I'll tell you, it looks pretty bad so far if it keeps on coming down. But I think it breaks up the monotony of things.
Timothy Gardner stopped his Uber rides 2 hours after the snowfall began.
Just before I crossed over from, Germantown to here, I noticed the secondary roads start getting a little, thick with the covering. So that was enough right there to tell me I need to call it quits.
City crews are hard at work laying down the salt, hoping to give drivers an advantage. Many of the major roads were pre-treated with brine last night. The line to this air pump was long. Corey Lewis explains why. Filling up with some air might help them in the treacherous conditions.
Traction. So I haven't checked it in a while, so I said, you know what, since I'm here, I might as well check it.
And Rick, you heard Adam a short time ago talking about poor visibility. One thing that we've noticed since we've been out here for several hours is the wind picking up. In my case, that means all the snow is going into my face and on my hair. For drivers, that means it's going right into their windshields, affecting their visibility on the roadways. For now, reporting live in Roxborough, Annie McCormick, Channel 6 Action News. Rick.
All right, Annie, thank you for that report. Moving over to the Philadelphia suburbs tonight, residents are being asked to stay indoors as the winds pick up and the snow accumulates there. Action News reporter Jacqueline Lee is live in Wayne with those details for us this evening. Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi, Rick. Well, I'm told this is the official Philadelphia welcome. I've never had a Northeast winter. So here we are. We have about 2 inches of snow accumulating, which is going to be getting a little bit higher as the night goes on. We're currently at the corner of Wayne and Lancaster Avenues. We've seen snow plows driving through every few minutes. We have not seen any cars get into accidents or get stuck. Hopefully it stays that way throughout the night. For 3-year-old Knox,
Show him how to make a snow.
You can show me? There's nothing quite like a white Christmas.
Pretty excited because he hasn't had a real snow day yet. Last year there was hardly any snow. So excited to get him out there and playing.
For some, the flakes are a nice reprieve from the exhausting year that has been 2020.
It's crazy. It was very unexpected, especially because it was really nice out a couple of days ago, but I'm here for it. I like it.
In Montgomery County, officials say the 911 call centers are fully staffed. In Chester County, their 911 center is still experiencing a normal call volume, but all are cautioning to stay off the roads to make room for emergency responders.
Yeah, I wanted to stay warm. I don't want any snow.
Owner of Main Point Book says she wanted the snowstorm, but now it's cutting down holiday shopping.
I wanted the snowstorm in January. Hopefully this will be, 12 really beautiful hours, and then it'll all be clear and everybody will be back to shopping tomorrow.
And Montgomery County officials say you want to be careful. There could be power outages, trees down throughout the night. So, of course, stay at home. That's the latest here in Wayne. Jacqueline Lee, Channel 6 Action News. Rick.
Jacqueline, thank you. Delaware is also seeing significant snow at this hour. The action cam was in Wilmington as drivers trying to carefully make their way around. DelDOT trucks have been working all day to keep the roads clear for motorists.
Let's get a live look right now. Mobile 6 out and about on the highways. This is I-95 northbound right in the area of Chester headed toward the city. You can see the road now looking quite slushy as that snow switches over to sleet and then rain as the warmer air moves in. But traffic moving, it appears, very slowly here as we look out on the highway on I-95 in the area of Chester, Delaware County. Let's get over to Action News traffic reporter Matt Pellman for a closer look at conditions all around the region. Matt, that looks really slow behind you there.
It is a wintry and wild Wednesday, that's for sure, Sarah. And if you don't have four-wheel drive or at least all-wheel drive, I would not try and head out right now. We are seeing a lot of vehicles, especially on inclines, having a really tough time. We've had a whole bunch of stuck vehicles here on Route 1, the Boulevard extension, trying to get northbound through East Falls, passing Ridge Avenue. These wheels are just spinning and spinning. We've been seeing people trying to push the vehicles that are stuck. If you have to head out, throw a shovel in the trunk, maybe some old towels, some sand, salt, kitty litter, something like that, if you need to throw it under your wheels to try and get some traction, because we're seeing a lot of people having problems getting going this afternoon. Tons of suburban accidents. There's one on the Turnpike westbound near Willow Grove, 14 miles per hour, coming west of Ben Salem in Delco. The Route 1 Media bypass northbound mostly closed, traffic tied in knots there. And on the Blue Route, it's mostly covered and traffic moving really slowly there. That's just the tip of the iceberg, Rick. We'll check it again in the next half hour.
All right, we'll see you again soon. Thanks, Matt. Becca Hendrickson is live with the latest on the conditions for us in South Jersey tonight. Hi, Becca.
Hi, Rick. Heavy snow has been falling for the past few hours here in South Jersey, and it is sticking to the roads. Action News will be right back.
And our winter storm coverage continues tonight now with a look at conditions in South Jersey. Action News community journalist Becca Hendrickson is live in Lawnside, Camden County with the latest on the situation there. Becca.
Rick, we were seeing some pretty heavy snowflakes fall for a few hours, but it seems to be changing over now. Still a lot of accumulation here on the roads. This is Route 30 in Lawnside. We're seeing a couple trucks pass every few minutes. The state has a total 4,000 out on the roads, trying to stay ahead of this about 3 inches so far of packing snow. New Jersey is in a state of emergency because of the storm, and as trucks load up and ship out, the state has put in a commercial vehicle restriction and is asking you to stay home if you can.
We urge you to please take it slow and use common sense and caution.
With the heavy snow, visibility was low on Lakeview Drive in Voorhees Township, and the snow is quickly coating neighborhood roads. It's the first significant snowfall in about 2 years in South Jersey, and people are torn on the winter weather.
It kind of like brings back the normal times, the normalcy of things, I guess, in a sense, kind of takes our mind away from the crazy pandemic that's currently going on.
Oh no, I don't like the snow. I do not like the snow. I was so glad it didn't snow last year. And now it's sticking to the ground.
We did just hear from Governor Murphy about that commercial vehicle restriction. While it does apply to most commercial vehicles, it does not apply to the trucks that are carrying the vaccine for COVID-19 into New Jersey. He wants those trucks there as soon as possible. Live and alongside Becca Hendrickson, Channel 6 Action News. Sarah?
Okay, Becca, thank you.
Much more still ahead on Action News tonight. Another check of the forecast for you as we look live outside. Sky 6 showing you parts of JFK Boulevard here in front of City Hall, where the snow continuing to come down, almost whiteout conditions there. We'll continue to monitor the situation, talk about the changeover. The meteorologist Cecily Tynan and the exclusive AccuWeather 5-day when Action News continues tonight. All right, time now for the latest on the snowfall and this changeover that many Philadelphians will see later this evening.
Yes, yeah, but it hasn't happened yet. Right now, it's snowing really heavily in Philadelphia. Sky 6 taking a look this is the north side of City Hall. That's Broad Street there, and you can see a few things. First of all, that snow continues to fall, and also the roads are snow covered. We've got a plow right there, and you can see how traffic is going very slowly. So this is why we were saying yesterday you really wanted to get off the roads by about 4 o'clock today, because the road conditions are going downhill fast. Storm Tracker 6 live double scan showing that we're looking at some heavy snow near Philadelphia that's really lifting up to the north, and you can see that extreme southern New Jersey, central and southern Delaware. It is rain right now. That rain snow line continues to work up to the north, and it's basically from the west to the east. So Wilmington, you've now changed over to sleet and some rain. Glassboro, you've gotten that changeover, but Philadelphia, we're still seeing that purple. That's that band of heavy snow, and you can see how that's also lifting up to the north. So it's moving into the Lehigh Valley right now through upper Bucks County, Quakertown, Doylestown right now. I got some video on Twitter from Doylestown, and it is just pouring snow, and this shows the snowfall rates. And as we query, you can see that those areas, the snow is falling at the rate of 2 to 3 inches per hour. That's very heavy snow. Also, there are those thick, fat flakes, and they're really starting to accumulate. We're getting some of the snowfall totals in right now, and they're pretty impressive already. Medford, New Jersey, in northwest Burlington County, 4 inches of snow. Oxford, Chester County measuring 7 inches. Upper Darby, 4 inches. Aston Township in Delaware County, 5.5, and Lindenwold reporting 2.3 inches of snow. And meteorologist Chris Sowers went out about a half an hour ago outside our studio, and he measured 3 inches of snow, and he was in his element. He loves the snow. Philadelphia currently 30 degrees. Wilmington, though, has now climbed up to 32. Allentown 22 with that wind out of the northeast off the ocean. Cape May very close to that ocean temperature of 45 degrees. Atlantic City Airport also well above freezing, 41. Future tracker showing as we head through the evening, looks like by 8 o'clock we will have that switch over in Philadelphia to the sleet and the rain. Still some heavy snow across the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos. 1 o'clock in the morning, that line getting a little bit farther north, but still snow in the Lehigh Valley, Berks County and the Poconos. And then as that storm system wraps up, that colder air collapsing in by 7:30, but by then most of the moisture is out of here. Just a few additional snow showers. Our expected snowfall map, we haven't changed this at all from yesterday. Still looking like 3 to 6 inches in Philadelphia, up to 20 inches across the Poconos. The 5-day at 5 showing tomorrow, it's cold behind the storm system. It's blustery, 36 degrees a high, some afternoon sunshine. Friday sun, a few clouds, 35. It stays cold on Saturday, 37. Increasing clouds, perhaps a shower late Sunday, 42. And Monday, partly sunny, 45 degrees. But then we have colder air next week. Adam will talk about that in the AccuWeather 70 forecast. Working, Sarah?
All right, so that's the skiers in the Poconos. Pocono is going to have a lot of fun this weekend.
Oh, you
right?
know it. We'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
All three of us.
Send pictures. Yeah, okay.
Rick, you're going to be
Yeah,
there.
yeah, sure. All right. Head over to 6abc.com to view Storm Tracker 6 live radar and the latest forecast from our team of meteorologists. We're also updating snow emergencies as they come in.
Huntington Valley looked like a winter wonderland today. This video captured just as the snow began to fall there.
Picture postcard stuff, right? An Action News viewer, Anna Cawley, had some fun in the sun, in the snow with her dog Honey Bear. What am I thinking? And remember to keep sharing your snow videos with us at 6abc.com/share. I like the dog's coat there.
Yeah, it's
Get
nice.
that Banana Republic, maybe. 5:30 now. Action News is back with the latest on the AccuWeather alert for a nor'easter impacting our entire area tonight.
The first flake started to fly early this afternoon, but the change to sleet and rain has already started for some.
Let's head over to meteorologist Adam Joseph with the latest on the storm and the changeover many of us will be seeing as we move into the evening, Adam.
Yeah, many of us are already seeing that changeover from the snow to the sleet. And if you saw sleet, it's changing over to rain. Some areas staying as rain, some areas staying as snow. As we take a look here, you got the purple zone, which is to the north. That is all snowfall. The blue is the sleet. The green, the yellows are the rain in the far southern areas. So the Lehigh Valley, as well as northern and central Bucks County and Berks County, up until about an hour ago, it was just some light snow. Now you're seeing that solid purple come in. That is snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour. So it is just dumping in those regions right now. The same thing for the northeast extension. And then as we head down to the south, we're starting to see that warmer air puncture north of Wilmington, lower parts of not only Lancaster County, Chester County, Delaware County, and now into Center City, Philadelphia, changing over to that sleet. And as we move the radar mode into our correlation coefficient, that is a fancy term with the dual-pole radar. We're slicing the atmosphere in the vertical and the horizontal, so we can take a look at the particles in the atmosphere and where they're similar size and where there are varying sizes. So we have all the snowflakes. That is the snow off to the north, that pink. But when you start to see all these jagged colors with the yellows mixing in, that is where the sleet is. And we can see that sleet is all the way now in northeast Philadelphia, up to the Conshohocken Curve, Malvern, Paoli, Devon, as well as Coatesville and Downingtown. The Pennsylvania Turnpike is the border of the snow and that sleet, and that will continue to lift off to the north, even now changing over to Browns Mills. The snow's held on a little bit longer in northern parts of Burlington County. Snowfall totals thus far: Folsom near 6 inches, Glassboro 3.8, where it is now sleet and mixing with some rain. Hockessin, Delaware 4.5, Parkside 4.5, and Burlington 4 inches of snow. But again, many of those areas are done seeing that snow accumulate. Shore impacts with this nor'easter. Also, we can't forget our shore communities because they're getting whacked by 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts tonight, this evening, and overnight with a high wind warning. Coastal flood warnings are up for this evening's high tide and especially tomorrow morning with minor to moderate flooding likely. We'll continue to monitor that radar and that mixing line heading to the north, and the rest of that 70 forecast in just a little bit.
All right, Adam, we'll check back in later. Thank you. Let's head over to the suburbs now. And Action News reporter Jeff Cherico, who's live in Jenkintown. Jeff, you've been there all day. How you holding up so far?
Doing okay, Rick. And the conditions here, though, are getting worse. If you take a look behind me, this is Old York Road. This is, as you can see, completely snow covered and has gotten this way really just within the past hour or so. The flakes that are falling are really large. And if you look down here, this sidewalk was shoveled just about an hour and a half ago. You could see we already have a couple inches on the ground since then. Of course, after a long reprieve from Old Man Winter, he is back, and folks here are enjoying it. When a nor'easter like this rolls in, you want Babs as your neighbor.
Oh my God, I love the snow. Absolutely. I look forward to this every year. Do everyone's cars, I love it. Love it. I look forward to it every year.
And she'll have a lot to keep her busy. Snow piled up quickly in Jenkintown this afternoon, covering sidewalks and side streets. Plows hit the roads, and so did some clearly cold-blooded creatures. For these girls, the rare snow day is best spent outside, building a snowman in town square.
It hasn't snowed in a year, so I'm really excited to get to play in. And
Already struggling restaurant owners aren't so thrilled. They put away outdoor tables, vowing to deliver if roads aren't too slick.
As long as, Uber drivers and DoorDash drivers and people can come pick up, I'll open.
And as the sun set, the wind picked up. After a year reprieve, Old Man Winter has returned with some new fans. Cody and his dad, who doesn't have to drive to work anymore.
Well, I think it's a good time for it. We're all trapped inside anyway. We're in quarantine, so probably ideal. Don't need to go anywhere, so it makes it a little bit more fun.
And back out here live, I just got off the phone with some emergency management officials nearby. They are telling me they are very pleased with the low number of people on the roadways. It's easier for their crews to get through and clear the roads. Reporting live in Jenkintown Borough, Jeff Cherico, Channel 6 Action News. Sarah?
Okay, Jeff, thank you. The action cam was along Lincoln Drive at Gypsy Lane this afternoon. You can see the snow led to limited visibility and made the roads messy for drivers. Drivers across the region are experiencing similar conditions tonight. Let's go live now to Action News reporter Taronda Thomas. She is in Oaks, PA this evening. Taronda, how are the conditions there tonight?
Well, Sarah, they've gotten worse. Not only is the snow falling faster, these flakes are bigger and they're really accumulating. I want you to look down at the sidewalk. I was here an hour ago and it was not like this. There's been at least another inch of snow that's fallen right here. So that's what you need to be aware of if you're out in this area. We spent the day in Chester County and at least one community there thought this storm was serious enough to issue an emergency declaration.
Well, I'm a teacher and so we just got out of school and it's slicking up pretty quickly.
Done with work just in time, residents in Chester County rush out to beat the storm.
I'm going home and stay home. I just came out to get what I needed to get at the house, and that's it.
It took less than an hour for the snow to accumulate on the roads, and the borough of Phoenixville wanted to make sure those roads had plenty of room for plows.
Phoenixville Borough, they declare a snow emergency.
That snow emergency means no cars could stay parked on the streets designated as snow routes. In downtown Phoenixville, businesses stayed open, hoping to get a few last-minute shoppers, and those shoppers showed up, albeit briefly.
This won't take long, and I'll go home and enjoy it very soon. I won't stay out long.
A good thing, because this storm will bring a lot of snow to areas across Chester County.
Between 6 to 10 inches.
Santa!
Say hey.
Santa!
Snow totals that make you wonder if the big guy up north ordered this storm. If so, he has some advice.
Try to be safe.
Definitely listen to Santa, play it safe. Now, this is Egypt Road, a major road. We just saw a plow pass by, and look at that. Off in the distance, there's another one coming with its blades down, pushing that snow off to the side, but the cars have been going really slowly. There are a lot fewer cars on the road now than there were, say, 1 or 2 hours ago. People are playing it safe, getting home and staying off these roads. So we saw a PennDOT plow pass by not too long ago. Now we're seeing this one. There was salt on a lot of these roads, but what you've really got to be careful of, especially in a community like Phoenixville, like we were in earlier, are the hills. There were definitely some moments where it got a little scary just as we were trying to navigate the hill in our live truck. So make sure you stay home if you're able to, because these conditions are not going to get better anytime soon. We are live in Oaks. Taronda Thomas, Channel 6 Action News.
Taronda, thank you. The action cam now along Keswick Avenue in Glenside. This was earlier this afternoon where cars were taking it slow as they navigated the snowy roads through town. We also spotted some kids out sledding in front of their home, having some fun. Why not? All right, Matt Pellman back in the Action News Traffic Center with an update on the slippery highways and byways. Matt, good night.
Laundry list of problems is long, that's for sure, Rick. We've had a lot of vehicles having a lot of problems getting up even in the smallest of inclines. This is the Roosevelt Boulevard extension, and it looks like we might have this problem again. You're not seeing any northbound traffic getting by because people are just sitting and spinning and spinning and spinning their wheels. You can see the headlights, but okay, there comes a car through now. It has been really tough for vehicles to make it up this incline, causing jammed conditions. A parking lot coming off the Schuylkill Expressway. It looks like the traffic isn't moving, and visibilities are down too. The delays from the boulevard problems spilling back onto 76 itself. Route 1 Media Bypass also issues this afternoon just north of the old Granite Run Mall. There's a big accident. Traffic's tied in knots there heading toward the Blue Route 476. At least traffic on the Blue Route is moving, although moving slowly. But trying to get to it from the Schuylkill westbound is tough. A lot of vehicles stuck on this ramp. It's the one from the Schuylkill westbound to go southbound on the Blue Route toward Villanova. You can see here again, just spinning the wheels. Can't make it up that small incline to get onto the southbound side of 476. We've had problems on this incline. It's the Girard Point Bridge heading southbound on 95 toward the airport. There goes a plow. Thankfully, we're getting by at this point. 95 in Delaware, northbound crash here in Wilmington is taking out the left lane close to Delaware Avenue. And we've got stuck trucks. A Postal Service truck and a FedEx truck with all your Christmas packages stuck here along Naaman's Road this afternoon. It is a mess out there, Sarah.
It really
Good luck.
is. Best to stay home.
Yep.
Thank you, Matt. The Kean family of Cherry Hill sent this really cool shot of Andrew doing what all kids love to do in the snow, throw snowballs. No word if he actually did hit the camera on this one, although it looks like he's on target. And Bill Higgins of Glassboro sent us this shot of the snow falling over the lake in his backyard earlier today there in Glassboro. Share your snow pictures and videos with us at 6abc.com/share. We'll feature more of them throughout the night, all part of our snow coverage.
All right, let's get the latest on that winter storm, that AccuWeather alert that's still in effect tonight.
Yeah, meteorologist Adam Joseph has been tracking this all afternoon into the evening. You've got the latest from AccuWeather.
I feel like it's been a week we've been talking.
I know.
I actually have been talking about it for a week now, where the potpourri of precipitation falling out there, and there's varying types of precipitation. So I want to explain this to you of what's going on in our atmosphere. At the shore, southern New Jersey, Delaware, where it's been rain from the get-go, all the way up where the clouds are, where the precipitation forms, say 5,000 feet up. It's warm air stacked through the column from the clouds to the ground, so it's all rain. Now, once that warm air, it's buoyant, it starts to ride inland, and what's happening here, you got some freezing rain at the surface when you have a shallow layer of cold air and a deep layer of warm air. That's not the case this go around, but that's how that type of precipitation sets up. Then when you have a thick layer of cold air, but warm air right in within the clouds, it starts as rain, and then as the rain falls, it starts to freeze into little ice pellets because of that thick cold air, and that's sleet, what we're seeing out there. And then, of course, if you have cold air at the clouds all the way to the ground, it's complete snow. So this is what's happening right now in the atmosphere. We got all that warm air at the ocean, and it's overriding that cold air inland and changing things over from sleet to rain for some of us. As in fact, as we take a look at Storm Tracker 6 Live, the purple, that is the heavy snow right now. Bucks County, central Montgomery, northern Chester County, Lehigh Valley, Berks County. There's the sleet in the blue and the heavy rain down to the south. So areas are getting 2 to 3 inches of snow per hour right now from Milford and Flemington and Quakertown, Green Lane, back towards Reading, even Norristown, where we're on the brink there of changing over to some sleet. In fact, you can see that sleet line has now pushed as far north as Center City, and even to the north of Malvern, getting reports of some sleet there as well. Probably a little bit of a lag here on the radar, but you can see that sleet line is really taking over much of South Jersey. Still snow into parts of northern Burlington County, and then it's a heavy wind-driven rain at the shore and much of Delaware. The latest totals coming in: Devon, 5 inches of snow, changed over sleet at this point. So once you change to sleet, you're not going to accumulate any further from the numbers you see. West Berlin, 3.5, Thornbury Township, 6 inches, Rock Manor, 5 inches, Hatfield, nearly 4 inches of snow, and getting reports near Philadelphia International Airport in parts of Delaware County of 4 to 5 inches there also. It is still cold. Northeast wind inland. We're in the 20s in Allentown, 21 right now, 30 Philadelphia, and then you jump into the 40s along the shore with the wind off the water. That wind speed, 43 miles an hour in Wilmington, 38 in Cape May, and 28 miles an hour for Philadelphia. The storm continues to work up from the south. You can see some dry air coming in now to Washington and Baltimore. Baltimore. So future tracker at 10 o'clock tonight, we may see a little bit of less intensity to the precipitation at 10 o'clock, but there's the sleet all the way up to the Pennsylvania Turnpike, rain in Philadelphia, and then still snowing Reading, Allentown, Poconos at 2 o'clock with that mix along Wilmington, Philadelphia, and Trenton as that warm air doesn't get all the way to the north. And then 7:30 tomorrow morning, maybe a leftover flurry, but it is cold tomorrow. The exclusive AccuWeather 7-day forecast: windy, cold, 36 wind chills in the 20s all day, returning sun. It's cold for Friday and Saturday, but it's sunny, only mid-30s, so no melting, or at least very little going on. Maybe a shower Sunday, and then back to the mid-40s as we get into next week leading up to the Christmas holiday, guys.
Okay, Adam, thank you.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Deuces Rogers, meteorologist Cecily Tynan, and Jim Gardner.
It can pose a challenge for motorists on slick roads like I-95 in Delaware, or it can look like a picture postcard, like here in Cooper River Park in Pennsauken. Two extremes, same storm. Of course, we're only about halfway through, so stay buckled up. We're going to be in this until sometime tomorrow. It is Wednesday night, and the big story on Action News tonight, our first big winter storm of the season and our first notable winter nor'easter in a couple of years, which is why we're covering it with considerable enthusiasm. Action News reporter George Solis is live in Bethlehem, covering the scene in the Lehigh Valley. Maggie Kent is keeping track of the storm in Philadelphia. Dan Quayer is in Springfield, Delaware County, and Trish Hartman is standing by in Doylestown, Bucks County. You all look extremely cold. But before we survey the area, let's get right to meteorologist Cecily Tynan and Adam Joseph. Cecily, what's the latest information from AccuWeather?
And Jim, you can see with that live shot with George and Lehigh Valley that it is just dumping snow up there. Storm Tracker 6 live double scan showing, as expected, this storm coming with a variety of winter type precipitation. We've got the heavy snow, we have the sleet, we have the heavy rain, and that snow, the heavier snow bands continue to lift up to the north. Actually, I want to flip this over, and you can see now Allentown, Quakertown, basically taking a ride up the northeast extension. This is where we've got the purple. That's an indication of the heavy snow, and we can flip this over and we can show you the snowfall rates. And this snow is at the rate of about 3 inches per hour. So that's going to be accumulating very quickly. And we're also seeing the sleet line working up from the south as expected. We can flip this over. We can show you that that sleet line actually now is moving through Philadelphia. This is a correlation coefficient. This shows where you have the different sizes and shapes of the precipitation. That's the sleet. And now it looks like that sleet line has approached and hit the Lansdale region. So where you've had that change over to sleet, that's done with accumulating snow. But it means that the road conditions are going to get even more hazardous when you get the sleet on top of snow. As far as snowfall amounts, Philadelphia 3 inches, Chadsford 7, Glassboro 3.8, Wilmington 5.5, and Haddon Heights 3.5 inches. I want to bring in meteorologist Adam Joseph to talk more about where we go from here.
Yeah, and I want to say that breaking weather news here, we've had more snow today than we had all last winter season.
That's true.
So there you go. As we take a look at, we go into the evening, we're going to have that rain, snow, sleet line that will continue to mix in the I-95 corridor throughout the evening and overnight hours. Still snow in Trenton right now, but along I-95 it's mixing in Philadelphia, changed over in Wilmington. An extended period of sleet and rain is expected right along that corridor and points just to the north and west up to the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and then could end as a little period of snow, but don't expect much accumulation on the back edge, maybe a coating late tonight in those areas. Visibility, though, it has improved. Millville, Wilmington, Lancaster, it is starting to push up because the snow is now the heaviest up towards Reading and Allentown, around a half a mile visibility there, 3 miles in Philadelphia. But even though you don't have better visibility in southern areas, it's a wind-driven rain ponding on roads. Future tracker winds tonight 50+ miles an hour at the shore, 40s inland, 53 Allentown. So winds a big problem here. And live on Sky 6, you can see that wind-driven rain at the shore. Jim, 60-mile-an-hour winds there and moderate coastal flooding at the time of high tide tonight and tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah.
All right, we've just seen the models, and the Lehigh Valley is expected to get hit pretty hard. Action News reporter George Solis is live on Main Street in Bethlehem. George, what's the situation there right now?
Well, Jim, for those that are looking for a winter wonderland, look no further. It is really coming down really hard here in Bethlehem. I mean, I can pick up, well, you can see just it's everywhere at this point. It's accumulating on the tables, of course, on the lights. And actually, I'm going to step forward here in front of the camera and just take off some of the snow that's accumulated on our camera at this point. Main Street, of course, completely deserted at this point. Occasionally you'll see 1 or 2 cars passing by. I just saw a gentleman jogging past the street here. The snowplows have been here, but it almost looks like they weren't here at all as the snow continues to accumulate. And again, right now, this is only the beginning, so we'll wait and see what it does later on as the night continues. The snow was really coming down in Bethlehem as Main Street lit up mostly empty sidewalks. Before dusk, some out by City Hall decided to take a snowy stroll.
Wonderful. Nice day out. I love snow, so this is awesome.
We also spotted some children playing by the Christmas tree, while others rushed to seek shelters indoors. Even in the snow, many are still adhering to mask mandates and covering up. For now, roadways are still passable, but conditions are turning slick in some spots as snow begins to accumulate. This is what it looked like on busy Interstate 78 just after 3 today. PennDOT District Officer Ron Young described how his crews are faring so far in the Lehigh Valley.
They're doing good. They're trying to keep up. It's coming down at a pretty good clip, and they're going to keep out there plowing and overnight into the morning throughout the day tomorrow until we get everything clear.
In Allentown, we also spoke with travelers trying to get home ahead of the worst of the storm.
Highways are getting slick. They are getting slick. Especially when you get off the interstate.
Many are prepared for the worst.
I'm expecting about 20 inches. I think we're going to get a lot.
Whether that happens remains to be seen, but of course it is coming down out hard. And again, when the wind picks up, it is actually the most challenging part of being out here. But again, so far, the road's pretty clear thanks to the snow plows. We'll be out here reporting and bringing you the latest as it becomes available. For now, we are live in Bethlehem. George Solis, Channel 6 Action News. Jim.
Thank you, George. From Main Street, Bethlehem to Front in Oregon and South Philadelphia, and Action News reporter Maggie Kent. Maggie, how bad is it there?
Oh, Jim, I can tell you that AccuWeather forecast is spot on when it came to timing, right? Because they were telling us that this is going to be the opportunity to see some of that rain and those ice pellets. It feels like little needles hitting your nose, but I want to show you what it looks like on the roadways because that's what's really important right now. You can see salt spreaders did come through this area. No plows down. I don't know if plows would have done any good at this point. This is a big street for trucks to come through as well, but you can see it's getting a little bit sloppy out there, and now the plows, the private plows, are starting to come out and do some of their work at local gas stations. Again, if you don't have to be out, don't come out because it is getting quite sloppy on our roadways. Clearing crusted snow off the car with a, wait, what is that?
A bat.
Is it working?
It's working good enough. Not bad.
That's the first time I've ever seen a baseball bat
well,
used for snow removal.
Yeah, it's the only thing handy at the moment that I got.
Hey, whatever works. For some, the bigger concern isn't the roads, but what comes once you get to the house.
Headed home. Hopefully I'll have a parking space. If not, I'm driving back down here to park and walking back home.
Snow is starting to stick to the blacktop. Even though salt was spread earlier, the streets are getting slick.
It's slippery. But if you take your time, and keep a distance, you'll be all right.
Yep, Yolanda has the right idea. If you take your time, you keep your distance, and of course, just stay safe. If you're out here on the roads, I think you'll be all right. Here in South Philadelphia, I'm Maggie Kent, Channel 6 Action News. Jim.
Thank you, Maggie. From the city to the suburbs, Action News reporter Dan Cuellar is live at Saxor and Baltimore Pike in Springfield, Delaware County. Dan, would it be fair to say this has been a challenging commute?
Well, Jim, the heavy snow has now ended here in Springfield, Delaware County. It's now sleet. It is wind-driven, and like Maggie said, it hits your face and it feels like little needles. When a storm comes down like this in late afternoon, people are trying to get home from work. The roads are snow-covered and in some cases icy. People become frustrated. The next thing you know, some begin spinning out and the roads become gridlocked. At Marshall Road and Maple and Drexel Hill, we saw cars that were spinning out and not able to make it up a hill, like this Charger. Amira Zahir was also not doing so well.
You see, I'm trying now. I was trying, but my
tires are slippery. I can't go forward.
She finally just parked her car and walked the 3 blocks to her house. Delaware County officials say scenes like these were repeated throughout the county. The plow trucks were on the job, but they were having a difficult time keeping up with all the snow. And this evening, the snow was showing no signs of stopping. And the director of Delaware County Emergency Services was making this appeal.
Don't let your guard down because of COVID. It's great to get outside and play. It's beautiful to be out in the snow. But when you get in an accident or first responders get there, please wear your mask.
Some good advice on a wintry night like here in Delaware County with the sleet coming down. The roads are a mess, but people are getting by. But I think many of them are getting the message it's not a fun place to be on the roads tonight. Live here in Springfield, Delaware County, I'm Dan Cuellar, Channel 6 Action News. Jim?
Thank you, Dan. Action News reporter Trish Hartman is live in Doylestown, Bucks County at State and Main. Trish, it sounds like folks there are bringing a positive attitude towards the storm.
Yeah, well, we are in downtown Doylestown, so it really does look beautiful with a fresh coating of snow, but the precipitation has been changing. I want you to take a look up to the light. You can see how fat these flakes are. The flakes have gotten a lot bigger in the past hour, and it also kind of feels like they're mixed in with a little bit of ice, so it feels like it might be starting to change over. We have some crews working here to clear the sidewalks and the streets. We still have a lot of snow on the ground. You can see the street is snow covered, but there are some plow vehicles have been coming through to try and clear the snow. But it is quite slippery here in Doylestown and the surrounding area, but we did find some people who are trying to enjoy the snowstorm.
I feel really good about it.
Yeah.
It hasn't snowed in so long.
Beautiful, isn't it? With the Christmas tree, the old buildings. So it's very picturesque here. This is one of our favorite spots.
As the snow started falling, people in Doylestown ventured out to watch the flakes fall, a welcome distraction from working at home.
I'm in the house an awful lot these days, so I just wanted to get out and see it before it got a little too treacherous.
So far, this is starting up pretty. The small little kernels, that's what lays, you know what I mean?
We found some drivers running errands trying to get home before it got too slick. Officials are urging people not to drive unless absolutely necessary. Outside of town, traffic on Route 611 was slow moving as the snow started to stick. And we found one traveler trying to get home to Lower Bucks County, his original plans foiled by the snow.
Usually Uber, but they canceled all the Ubers.
Did you know that was going to happen?
I did not know that was going to happen.
So what are you going to do now?
Hopefully get my way down to the train station, actually.
It's a busy scene here in Doylestown. We got some salt going down. We have a family out here. Look at the Christmas tree. A lot of people out and about this evening as the snow continues to come down. Now, that gentleman that was trying to get home had another hiccup. The train he was trying to catch was canceled. If you're taking SEPTA, regional rail, or otherwise, make sure you check before you leave. There are many cancellations and delays. Reporting live in Doylestown, Trish Hartman, Channel 6 Action News. Jim.
Thank you, Trish. Downtown Trenton was blanketed in white this afternoon. The city's menorah, however, was shining bright through the snow. This area is starting to transition to some sleet right now. Much of South Jersey and the shore got only a cold rain today. Conditions were right for this couple taking their dog for a walk in Wilmington this afternoon. Del Dot was staying on top of the falling snow and treating the roads where needed. Coming up on Action News tonight, more coverage of the first winter storm of the season as we check in with Chad Perdelli live in Berks County. And meteorologist Cecily Tynan will have more on what to expect as we go through the night. A live look from our favorite vehicle during any snowstorm, Mobile 6, as it is going eastbound on the Schuylkill Expressway approaching City Avenue. You can see traffic moving slowly, although it is rather free-flowing and a lot of cars having their blinkers on. In other words, please be careful if you're behind me. All right. Winter storm is pounding parts of the area, including Berks County, perhaps the hardest hit area right now. Action News reporter Chad Perdelli is live in Reading. Chad, you've got the situation there.
Yeah, Jim, you got it right. We've been getting pounded for the past couple of hours. Had gusty winds. The snow's been coming down an inch or two per hour. We're here at 5th and Penn, here in Penn Square in the heart of Reading. You can see a picturesque scene with the Christmas tree, the city Christmas tree. And you can see this, if you can take a look up there, how quickly that snow is coming down. We've had those gusty winds like we talked about. I want to take you down here. You can see we've had about, I'd say, 5 to 6 inches. Quite a bit of snow so far, and more is expected. Talking with people people, they either love the snow or they hate it.
It's perfect timing for COVID and the pandemic and everything just coming together in one big conglomeration of... Yes, one big chaos, that's right.
Dude, I love it, man. I've been waiting 2 years for this, man. I've been praying for this, and I'm out. They call me off of work, and I am staying out. I don't care if it's blizzard, dude. I'm psyched.
And the Reading mayor tells us they're urging people to stay off the roadways. It is slick out here. You can see those cars that let the plows and the salt trucks do their work. If you stay off the roadways, it can cut their work time in half. I'm live in Reading. Chad Perdelli, Channel 6 Action News. Jim?
Thank you, Chad. And Cecily Tynan with more from AccuWeather, the latest track of the storm, when we continue in just a minute. AccuWeather alert, you know that. Latest from Cecily Tynan and AccuWeather.
And Jim, this is the biggest snowfall we've had since 2018, and the storm is still rolling. Let's go live on one of Matt Pellman's traffic cameras. And oh, they switched it. Matt, where is this? Oh, this is a Gerard Point Bridge. I want to show 202 at Chesterbrook, but that's covered in snow. You can see the Gerard Point Bridge actually looking pretty good. It's changed over to sleet here, and this is Sky 6, our Brandywine camera, taking a look over 30th Street Station. Sky 6 kind of shaking a little bit. The winds are picking up. It's changed over to sleet in Philadelphia, but we still have some real heavy snow that continues to pound our far north and west suburbs. Storm Tracker 6 showing where you see that purple, that's the heavy snow that's falling at the rate of about 3 inches per hour and really adding up in Quakertown and Allentown, where George Solis is. We saw that video of that snow just pouring. Easton right now. Malvern, you got some of that mixing in with sleet with that snow. And of course, down to the south, we've got the sleet in Philadelphia across South Jersey. And then that heavy rain continues to push up from the south. And we will be seeing that change over probably to even some rain in Philadelphia as the storm continues working up the coast. The snowfall totals continue coming in. Rittenhouse Square reporting 5 inches of snow, and Browns Mill 5.5. Chalfont reporting 4 inches, in Wayne 4.5, and Pottstown reporting 4 inches of snow. Now it's changed over to sleet. It's cold out there. Philadelphia 32 degrees, and Allentown that fluffy snow with a temperature of 21, Reading 23, but Cape May got the wind off the ocean 48 degrees, and the winds are pretty fierce. So you factor this in. This is why our reporters look so cold at the top of the newscast. Feels like 18 in Philadelphia, feels like 14 in Trenton, 5 in Allentown and the Poconos, where the ski resorts are getting some very heavy snow right now. That wind chill is 2 degrees. Satellite and radar showing low pressure continue to move up from the coast of North Carolina. Right now, it's right near Norfolk. It's hugging the coast. And what will happen tonight, we will see some drier air beginning to move in. So that means a little bit of a lull in the action by 10 o'clock. It's still falling, but the rate has decreased along the I-95 corridor, South Jersey and Delaware. South Jersey and Delaware, it's pretty much all rain by then. 27 in Allentown with that heavy snow continuing. By 1 o'clock in the morning, I think this is as far north as that sleet line will get, just to the south of the Lehigh Valley. And then the wee hours in the morning, that cold air will collapse in, so could get a change over to snow in the suburbs near Philadelphia. By then, we're limited just how much moisture is left. And by 8 o'clock, just a few lingering snow showers. If you're shoveling tomorrow, please bundle up and take it easy. This is a heavy, wet snow near Philadelphia. Winds gusting up to 35 miles per hour. So you factor those in. Wind chills never climb out of the 20s. It's going to be a cold day. The exclusive AccuWeather 7-day forecast, cold and blustery tomorrow, 36. It stays cold on Friday, 35. Saturday, increasing clouds, 37. Sunday, back up to 42, but mostly cloudy. A few late day showers. Monday, partly sunny, 45. Tuesday could get some showers, 46. And Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 45 degrees. We will get some melting next week. I'll have an update on Action News tonight at 11. Jim?
Thank you, Cecily. And ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir next on Channel 6. We'll have a live AccuWeather alert update at 7 tonight, so please join us for complete coverage on our family of 6 ABC streaming apps, including Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, and Android TV. And then join us, please, for Action News at 11 here on Channel 6. For Cecily Tynan, Deuces Rogers, and the entire Action News team, I'm Jim Gardner. We hope you'll join us for Action News at 11.
Jim Gardner.
It's been almost 2 years since we've had a snowstorm like this, so some folks have been delighting in these idyllic scenes. But these drivers are not among them. The same storm can mean radically different experiences for different people. Welcome to the first real snow of 2020. Wednesday night, the big story on Action News Tonight, the latest on our winter nor'easter. Some of you have had upwards of 10 inches of snow or close to it. Some of you have had nothing. We've got Action News reporters staked out in key locations. George Solis in the Lehigh Valley, Dan Cuellar in Springfield, Delaware County, Annie McCormick in Roxborough, and Becca Hendrickson in Pennsauken. Chad Perdelli is standing by in Reading. Taronda Thomas is in Phoenixville, and Trish Hartman is patiently waiting in Warrington. Trish, it may be a while, but first, let's get the latest information from AccuWeather and meteorologist Cecily Tynan and Adam Joseph. Guys.
And Jim, our storm system has passed its peak intensity, but it's certainly not over yet. Storm Tracker 6 live double scan showing we have a combination of the snow in the white, the sleet in the blue, and the rain in the green, and some of that heavy rain in the yellow. So we continue to have kind of all types of winter precipitation. Zooming in, you can see along the I-95 corridor, Philadelphia, Wilmington, we're getting that messy combination of the sleet on top of that snow that fell earlier this evening. Philadelphia, about a half foot of that snow, so that ice on top of it. And you can see how that moisture is moving up from the south as that storm system continues to roll up the coast. Zooming in, we do still have some snow that's moving through Montgomery, Northampton, Solebury. Right now it's pretty light. Norristown was getting sleet. It's changed back over to snow into Philadelphia. It's been sleeting for several hours now, for about 6 hours. Across South Jersey along the coast, it's been pouring, and now that heavier rain has shifted right off the coast, but there is more that's moving out of the Delaware Bay. A wider view showing the surface low right now is just tucked in, kind of hugging the Delmarva. If you look to the west, if you look near Pittsburgh, you see that little spin. That's what's known as a vortex. It's a piece of energy that's going to be rotating in behind that surface low, so that will bring us an opportunity for some more accumulating snow. But I want to stress it's not nearly as much as that front end thump that we had this evening. So Philadelphia, the I-95 metro area, overnight we're looking at the potential for more of that glaze of ice, not only the sleet but also the freezing rain. So please be careful. Possible that we could get a coating of snow as well. Lehigh Valley, the northwest suburbs, could get an additional 1 to 3 inches of the light snow. The best lift still across the Poconos could get moderate snow, another 4 to 6 inches of snow. For more details on how much snow has already fallen and what to expect tomorrow morning, let's head over to Action News meteorologist Adam Joseph.
You know, and all three states did see accumulating snow before we changed it over to some of that sleet, freezing rain and rain. Philadelphia picking up 5.7 inches exactly. That's 1,001 days since we've seen that much snow in the city. Easton up in the Lehigh Valley, 9 inches thus far. Quakertown, 8 inches in Bucks County. Norristown, 8.5 inches. That is in central Montgomery County. Elverson, the high terrain of Chester County, 6.8 inches of snow. Let's head over to you in New Jersey and Delaware. Snowfall totals there. Browns Mills coming in at 5.5 inches. This is actually New Jersey. Ewing in Mercer County, 4.2. Evesham Township at 6 inches. Deptford Township near 4 inches. Cherry Hill just over the river, 6.5. And last but not least in Delaware, Wilmington 5.5. Hockessin 4.5. Penrose just over 4 inches. Newcastle 2 inches, and farther to the south, Middletown coming in with about 1.5 inches of snowfall. Wind gusts right now coming in off of the ocean, 41 miles an hour. We've seen it as high as 55 miles an hour in Atlantic City. So a whipping wind-driven rain down there, coastal flooding, and also some beach erosion. 35-mile-an-hour winds in Wilmington, 25 in Allentown, and that wind is bitter cold here. We could take a look at 20 in Philadelphia. Feels like 35 Millville, 3 in Allentown. And I want to show you something that's going on. Cecily mentioned that vortex. We have that northeasterly wind here, and we have more of a northerly wind here. And you can see this convergence zone of the winds there. That's what's going to rotate through, collapse the column of cold air to flip everything back to snow in southeastern Pennsylvania, but biting wind chills up towards the Lehigh Valley. Morning rush tomorrow, there will be icy spots. Everybody will pretty much be at or below freezing in the morning, so untreated surfaces will be rock hard. Take it easy. There'll be no precipitation in the morning rush falling, but a north wind 15 to 20, so those temperatures in the 20s to near 30 will feel like the single digits and teens as we head out the door, or some of us, if you are not the lucky ones, tomorrow morning. Meteorologist Cecily Tynan will be back, Jim, in a little bit.
Overall, it just sounds unpleasant.
It really does.
Thank you, Adam. All right. Okay, we have a lot of ground to cover substantively and geographically. The Lehigh Valley has been hit by very cold temperatures and therefore a longer period of snow, less sleet. Action News reporter George Solis is live in Briningsville outside Allentown. George, what's the story there at this hour?
Yeah, Jim, less snow, more sleet, and the wind definitely picking up. It is biting. It feels like needles on the skin. And to give you a sense of the accumulation, we did find a patch of untouched snow that hasn't been moved by plows. And I can show you, you can just see how deep it is, easily 5, 6, 7 inches possibly that has accumulated here. And of course, the conditions on the road, dangerous, slick. You can't see anyone behind me on Route 100. Occasionally a big rig passing through. Most people adhering to the warnings. But what will it all look like by tomorrow? Well, that remains to be seen. Conditions along roadways in Bethlehem quickly deteriorated as the snow began to accumulate. Some drivers were brave enough to tackle the treacherous terrain, barely making it up hills. We spotted others walking through the nearly whiteout conditions.
Oh, it's been wonderful. It's so beautiful in downtown Bethlehem.
This couple along Main Street went out for a stroll to celebrate the occasion. Were you guys looking forward to this?
Absolutely. Yes, the only day of snow we had all year was January 18th.
The day we got married. This duo stepped out for a moment to assess the scene.
Quiet as we thought, except for the sirens, but not a lot of action on Main Street. No surprise.
And plan for the next day after the snow stops falling.
We have our sleds ready to go and we should have a good day tomorrow.
Assuring that happens for those driving our PennDOT crews.
They work 12 hours, go home for 12 hours, and come back for 12 hours until things are back in decent shape and they can go back to their normal working hours.
And speaking of work, in Briningsville, just outside of Allentown, we ran into big rig driver Damon Jackson.
I knew some snow was coming, but at the same time, I wasn't expecting this.
After leaving Texas this morning, he says the storm has him calling it quits for this evening.
I'm staying right here, and I'm keeping my truck running. I just fueled up, so I'm keeping it running.
Yeah, staying home, the right thing to do. Again, the story now, that wind that is picking up at moments, it just hits you so hard. Layering up, definitely the key thing if anyone is going to be out at this hour. And of course, we're all waiting to see what the snow accumulation totals will look like in the morning. Many people we saw in the Lehigh Valley getting a head start on that as we speak. That is the latest here in Briningsville, just outside of Allentown. George Solis, Channel 6, Action News. Jim.
Thank you, George. Let's switch live to Action News reporter Dan Cuellar in Springfield, Delaware County. Dan, what's the situation there?
Well, Jim, this is one of those days where we saw it all. We saw snow, heavy snow, rain, sleet, ice, and high gusts of winds. And right now it's going back and forth between a little sleet and a little rain. And despite road crews' best efforts, roadways like Baltimore Pike are getting dicey again. The good news is there's not that many people out on the roadways right now. But earlier today, we had a very difficult rush hour. Many accidents, including a very significant one on I-95 in Ridley. This scene on Baltimore Pike is one we saw over and over again. Vehicles having a hard time getting up hills, of which there are so many in Springfield.
It's very slick out there. The snow is starting to pack down. It was light, so now it's starting to get a little icy out there.
It's a little icy. I wouldn't go out if you didn't have four-wheel drive. Definitely not.
You have four-wheel drive?
Absolutely.
The traffic should be going slow. A lot of people are still trying to drive fast, which that's what people do because they're not very smart.
At the height of the storm, officials say first responders went to over 100 emergencies, including a multi-vehicle pileup on I-95 in Ridley.
I think 7 people had to be transported.
Once again, it shows the strain we put on our EMS system during this COVID period. 7 ambulances getting to 95 during a snowstorm is a big drain on our county.
And tonight, the cleanup was beginning across Delaware County. Some people were out and about shoveling all that snow as rain poured off and on.
As soon as it starts raining, the water lays on top of the snow, and it creates like a sheet of ice, so it's real hard. It's hard to shovel, hard to plow.
Tonight, officials are worrying about roadways icing up overnight and what that could mean for the rush hour. Their advice, take it slow, don't let your guard down. All it takes is just one patch of ice for a very bad situation to happen. Take a look this way. You know, if they don't salt down these parking lots in the morning, it's going to be a mess out here. So we're live here in Springfield, Delaware County. I'm Dan Cuellar, Channel 6 Action News. Jim?
Thank you, Dan. We want to go live to Mobile 6, which is right now on the blue route, Route 476 near Route 3. Mobile 6 being driven by photojournalist Ricky Harris, going northbound right now. As you can see, traffic is very light indeed, but Ricky says the road is basically clear, a little slippery in spots, but mostly clear. The situation largely under control on the blue route tonight. It was not smooth sailing for these drivers on the Roosevelt Boulevard in Northeast Philadelphia. You can see that several vehicles got stuck in the snow, spinning their wheels. Some Good Samaritans sprang into action to help push some cars back onto the road. The snow transformed Main Street in Manayunk into a winter wonderland tonight. Some folks bundled up to take a walk on the snow-covered sidewalks. Others spent some time with the dog, and others cleaning their cars. Action News reporter Annie McCormick is staked out in Roxborough in Philadelphia, where there's actually been a change in the weather. Not so much snow anymore. Annie, more sleet than snow.
Jim, that's right. The precipitation right now is a light, icy rain, but it's these bursts of wind that is making that very uncomfortable right now, but still nothing like we saw earlier today. I want to give you a look at Busy Ridge Avenue. You can see there's a lot of progress here. We're starting to see blacktop. Also now we're continuing to see more and more plow drivers, some of them independent contractors that have contracts to clear area parking lots, but we're seeing more and more of them coming out now to start the cleanup. By nightfall, today's heavy snow turned to sleet in Roxborough. The notoriously difficult to navigate streets even more treacherous thanks to low visibility. The winter weather affecting SEPTA buses too.
Yeah. First they said they canceled them, then as I was walking, they start coming up, and now they're taking like 30 to 40 minutes, so now I have to walk.
Just 2 hours into the snowfall today, this Uber driver called it a day.
Just before I crossed over from, Germantown to here, I noticed the secondary roads start getting a little, getting a little thick with the covering. So that was enough right there to tell me I need to call it quits.
We have over 50,000 tons of salt ready on hand for this operation to be used for this event.
City Streets Commissioner Carlton Williams telling Action News 400 pieces of equipment are on a roll salting and plowing throughout the city.
I think we're pretty equipped to hit many of the major roadways, and we're also going to hit residential areas and those small streets down in North and South Philadelphia as well.
But the snow also brought some joy today for puppies and sledders at least.
She just loves this. This is our first snow and she's having the best time of her life.
Oh my gosh. And so do you find it kind of hard to move around? Do you think she's affected at all?
No, she's running through it like she belongs here. Me, I'm slipping all over the place.
How was the sledding? Was it fun?
My hands are freezing. Yeah, so yeah, you can say it was fun, but aside from the freezing part.
And Jim, back out here live, you can see the city streets department hard at work. Those are trash trucks with plows in front of them. They're using every piece of apparatus that they have so that they can plow as many streets as possible. That's also why trash pickup across the city will be delayed until Friday. For now, reporting live in Roxborough, Annie McCormick, Channel 6 Action News. Jim.
Thank you, Annie. Action News community journalist Becca Hendrickson is live in Pennsauken, New Jersey tonight. Becca, Governor Phil Murphy declared a preemptive state of emergency, and with good reason.
Jim, while the snow stopped hours ago, it's been steadily raining ever since, and the issue now is the potential for icy roads. You can take a look at Route 70 behind me. It's very wet, and a little further up, if you look at the 38 bridge, those are the sort of surfaces that ice before everything else. So if you have to be out, make sure you're going slow. But the state is recommending that you just don't drive and you stay home. The plows powered up and down Route 30 in Lawnside every few minutes as the snow stuck to the roads. Crews tried to clear a safe path and asked drivers to stay back. Some neighbors started shoveling early to stay ahead of the storm. Yvonne Rivers says she's been waiting for the first South Jersey snow in a while.
It's just beautiful, to see all the pretty lights for Christmas, It's awesome.
While the snow did switch to rain, New Jersey remains in a state of emergency with road restrictions on commercial vehicles. Crews are also on high alert for high winds that could lead to power problems. It's asking anyone who sees an issue to report it. For Samir Wheatley, his biggest issue so far is keeping the gas station clear.
We were out here shoveling all of this, and all of this was just covered in snow. People were coming in, their cars were covered in snow. It was just a lot to handle.
Others are enjoying a little snow near Christmas time.
It's nice to be in the holidays. It's nice to be safe. It's nice to get out a little bit.
Now, Jim, while that commercial vehicle restriction is in place for most vehicles, it does not apply to those trucks carrying the COVID-19 vaccine into New Jersey. Governor Murphy says he hopes that those are able to make it into the state with no delays despite the winter weather. Live in Pensacola, Becca Hendrickson, Channel 6 Action News. Jim?
Thank you, Becca. In Delaware, the snowfall quickly coated roads, sidewalks, and cars. DelDOT crews were busy staying on top of the falling snow and treating the roads where necessary. Nationally, several accidents and slipping cars littered Highway 22 in Westchester County, New York. Fortunately, all the accidents were minor. Up to 10 inches of snow sent tractor trailers sliding down I-80 near Kearney, Nebraska. And at least one driver was killed on icy roads near Wichita, Kansas. And this was the scene outside Pittsburgh when a truck slammed into an EMS vehicle. Dashcam video captured the moment the truck lost control on a snowy road. After coming around, it turned too quickly. Two paramedics just got out of the way, just in time. We urge you to keep the 6ABC app close by as the storm continues to impact the region. You can access Storm Tracker 6 Live radar and keep an eye on the latest emergencies and advisories. And stay with Action News overnight and into tomorrow morning. We'll have the very latest on the forecast and conditions on the roads beginning tomorrow morning at 4. And of course, we will have more coverage of the snow coming up just a little later in the broadcast. Still to come on Action News tonight. More winter storm coverage. We have reporters standing by in Berks, Chester, and Bucks counties for the latest on the conditions there. Cecily?
Well, Jim, our winter storm will be heading out in the overnight hours, but behind it, there's plenty of cold air, and that is sticking around. I'll explain in the AccuWeather 7-day forecast.
We are back in Mobile 6, which has just left 476 and is now headed westbound on 76 towards King of Prussia. Ricky Harris, who is typically a photojournalist, but tonight is our driver, says that 476, as we told you before, was pretty good. 76 westbound, also pretty good, but beware of the ramps, that the ramp from 476 to 76 was icy, tougher to negotiate than the main highways, which is often the case. Ramps freeze before the main roads do. So please be careful, not only on the highway system around the area, but particularly on those ramps leading from one road to another. Thank you, Ricky. Much of Berks County has been clobbered by this storm, and Action News reporter Chad Perdelli has been in Reading for virtually every band of snow. Chad, what's the situation right now?
Jim, pretty quiet for the last couple of hours here in Berks County, at least when you talk about the precipitation. But this area got hit hard earlier in the evening. I'd say we got about 6 to 8 inches. As snow pounded Reading, some were out having fun on the ATVs. But navigating city streets was touch and go.
Oh man, this is crazy.
Reading, it's crazy. The snow is coming down for real, man.
What's the traffic like? The road's like?
Oh man, the road is crazy. We got to get some type of plow so they can open up these roads.
Old Man Winter unleashed for several hours, dropping roughly a half a foot of snow.
I mean, I was inside working, but I was enjoying it the whole time. Can't wait to go home and throw my daughter in the snow.
As the snow tapered off, crews fired up the snow blowers and began the backbreaking chore of shoveling the heavy precipitation. It's been a while since there's been a cleanup like this. Mayor Eddie Moran pleaded with residents to keep an eye on neighbors and help those who can't dig out.
So during this snowstorm, I'm going to ask once again to please, let's be good neighbors to one another. Let's look out for the elderly.
And the mayor says that many city offices will be closed tomorrow. Trash pickup will be delayed a day. I'm live in Reading. Chad Perdelli, Channel 6 Action News. Jim?
Thank you, Chad. Action News reporter Taronda Thomas is in Phoenixville tonight. And Taronda, you've been touring parts of Chester County. What have you seen? How are folks dealing with the first sizable snow in a couple of years?
Well, I would say they're doing a pretty good job. You know, some people are happy to see the snow. Others are nervous, and I'll show you why. Because of these roads, especially in the areas where you're negotiating turns, they get really, really dicey. This is a main road, Egypt Road right here. This is the best it's looked all day, believe it or not, after the snow plows had a chance to come through once those cars slowed down. But there was a lot more snowpack in here earlier today, and we spent the day in Chester County as we watched this storm take many turns. First, the only white on the ground was salt. Then came the snow, just enough to look pretty.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool.
Not enough to scare away last-minute Christmas shoppers.
This won't take long, and I'll go home and enjoy it very soon. I won't stay out long.
But then the flakes got fatter.
It's freezing. I just want to get home to Pottstown.
The impending storm rushing away convenience store customers.
I just came out to get what I needed to get at the house, and that's it.
And even spurring a warning.
Santa!
Say hey.
Santa!
From the big guy himself.
Try to be safe.
By dusk, the flakes had gotten heavy and the roads slushy.
They are not plowed at all. Horrible. I'm coming from media area, so it took me about two and a half hours.
A drive that normally takes him 40 minutes. Pretty soon, the snow turned into ice. The final phase pushing some drivers to issue a warning to anyone even thinking about driving in this storm.
No. You don't have to be anywhere. I mean, if you could quarantine for 3 months, you can do another 24 hours at home. You don't need to be out. Trust me.
That's some really good advice. You see 422 off there in the distance. Not a lot of cars passing by, which is a good sign because it means people are staying home. And I can tell you right now, this sleet has picked up. It's kind of pelting us right now. As far as Chester County goes, their government offices closed at 2 o'clock this afternoon. No word on how that schedule will be affected tomorrow. We do know, though, that Phoenixville schools will not hold in-person classes tomorrow. We're live in Oaks. Taronda Thomas, Channel 6 Action News. Jim?
Thank you, Taronde. It only took us 29 minutes, but we are going to Action News reporter Trish Hartman, who is in Warrington tonight. Trish, what about driving conditions in your area?
They're still pretty slippery, Jim. We'll give you a look at Route 611. We are just south of Doylestown here, and you can see it is still snow covered. Most of the drivers we spoke with, first of all, there weren't that many out, which is a good thing. But they said if you took it slow and if you had four-wheel drive, it's not too bad. But if you don't have the vehicle that can handle snow like this, it's going to be pretty dicey. We saw some spinning tires today. There also are going to be some issues if you are walking around out here. I'm going to try to carefully walk over here to this part of the parking lot. Ian, my photographer, and I have had several close calls with a few icy patches underneath the snow here. It is all ice, so you really want to be careful, especially on any unsalted surfaces. We talked with plenty of people out here in Bucks County today, some working in the snow and some trying to enjoy it.
You're not out here plowing or trying to keep the roads clean, to stay out.
Once the sun went down and the flakes turned to ice, the roads were pretty empty except for some plow crews in Warrington.
Right now, taking advantage, not too much snow, taking food, hot soup to my guys.
Route 611 was slick.
About 10 minutes ago, there were some cars stuck on the hill down here because they don't have four-wheel drive.
On 611?
Yeah.
But it wasn't all slush and spinning tires. What do you think?
I love it.
You're pro snow?
Pro snow, yeah.
5-year-old Vincent is also pro snow. He and his dad took a walk to see the Christmas tree in Doylestown and throw a few snowballs. Meanwhile, workers were out snowblowing, salting, and shoveling, and plow crews were doing their best to keep the roads clear.
They're ready. I don't think we'll have any problems.
Doylestown Borough officials say the job will go into Thursday and ask residents to move their cars from emergency routes so crews can work.
We just hope all the residents heed the warning and take their cars and put them in the garage.
Now, something else that officials are concerned about are possible power outages this evening into tomorrow because this is a heavy, wet snow and because of the winds that are starting to pick up. We are feeling it. So they encourage residents, if you have or experience any power outages, to report them right away. Reporting live in Warrington, Trish Hartman, Channel 6 Action News. Jim?
Thank you, Trish. An Action News viewer proved it again. Snow, always a fun time for the dogs. Take Mia, for example. She happily ran around enjoying her first snowfall alongside her sister Luna in Bridgeton, New Jersey. And if you think cats don't like the snow, check out this pair. At least they're curious. Roberta filmed this video of her two Siamese cats watching and following the flakes through a window in their home in Wilmington. And here is a winter scene out of Conshohocken. Anita Barton captured a cardinal sitting in a snow-covered tree. She says the picture reminds her of the joy of the Christmas season. A little splatter of red among the green and the white of the tree.
I've seen a lot of really beautiful photos from around our area, you know, with the holiday lights and the snow falling, and, you know, puts you in the holiday spirit, right? Now you want it to melt.
Now I want to know what the forecast is for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be
70
cold.
degrees and sun.
Nah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to be much melting going on tomorrow. Let's go live on Sky 6. Taking a look towards the Ben Franklin Bridge and Penn's Landing. And notice you can see some droplets on the lens of our Sky 6. We do have a combination of sleet and freezing rain right now in Philadelphia on top of that snow that fell earlier. Not a good combination. Sky 6 taking a look though, City Hall. The Philadelphia Christmas tree always looks better with some snow around. Think about this. If this storm were a week later, we would definitely be getting a white Christmas for Philadelphia in all areas northwest, but I think it's going to be melting before Christmas. Not going to be melting tomorrow though, and tonight, pretty impressive when you look at the wind chill. The feels like temperature in Allentown, it feels like 4. Philadelphia feels like 20. Reading, it feels like 10. However, Cape May, 51 degrees with that wind off the ocean. Tomorrow, though, as the storm system departs, we'll all be getting winds out of the north, so it's cold for everybody. Those wind chills starting in the teens, and they never climb out of the mid-20s tomorrow with more clouds and sunshine. So definitely bundle up tomorrow. It's going to be cold, and again, not much melting going on. Storm Tracker 6 live double scan showing the storm, again, is past its peak, but it's not over yet. Philadelphia right now, we've got the sleet, but areas a little bit farther to the north, parts of Bucks, Montgomery County filling in with some of those snow showers. Near Reading right now, you're getting another little burst of snow. All this moisture is moving up from the south. Wilmington, we've got freezing rain and sleet. South Jersey, Salem County, where it was snowing really hard at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now you're dealing with the heavy rain. Philadelphia, though, 5.7 inches of snow. Of course, we've had bigger snowstorms, but this is the biggest snow in 1,001 days, the most snow since March 21st, 2018, when we got 6 inches. So we have been in a snow drought. That drought ended today. Satellite and radar showing we've got 2 parts to the system right now. There's low pressure that's tucked right near the Delmarva currently, the surface low, but then there's a vortex, an upper level low that's spinning across western Pennsylvania. That will be rotating through in the wee hours of the night, and that'll bring us a few additional snow showers. The wind warning continues until 1 o'clock. Along the coast, we have had wind gusts close to 60 miles per hour. And tomorrow, the wind will be piling up the water, so there will be some moderate coastal flooding Time of high tides tomorrow morning, generally between about 9 o'clock and shortly after 10 o'clock. So if you live at the coast, you know the drill. Definitely do want to move your car to higher ground if you're in an area that typically floods, because it will tomorrow. Future tracker showing at 2 o'clock in the morning, we'll still be dealing with some snow north of Philadelphia, sleet around Philadelphia, some heavy rain across South Jersey. 5 o'clock looks like that moisture is really lifting north of Philadelphia, and then it shuts off by 8 o'clock. But through the day, more clouds and sunshine, and temperatures will really be struggling to climb above freezing. The exclusive AccuWeather 7-day forecast tomorrow, it's not 70 degrees and sunny. It's windy and cold, 36 degrees, but wind chills in the 20s. On Friday, more sunshine, but it stays cold, not quite as windy, 35. Saturday, increasing clouds, still on the chilly side, 37, and then temperatures finally rebound into the 40s on Sunday. Mostly cloudy, could have a late day shower, 42. Monday, partly sunny, 45. Tuesday, chance of a rain, not snow shower, 46, and Wednesday mostly sunny with a high of 45 degrees. So the snow will definitely be melting next week. David Murphy will be on Action News beginning at 4 o'clock, tracking the end of the storm, and also he'll have the final snowfall amounts. Jim.
Thank you, Cecily. We want to introduce you to a young man from Plymouth Meeting. He is 3-year-old Owen. This picture taken by his mom, Megan O'Connor. He's all dressed up in his best Villanova basketball gear. Obviously a young Wildcats fan. His name, Owen. Armed with shovels, volunteers at the sidewalks of Southwest Philadelphia tonight. They are part of an organization called Able-Bodied Christian Men. Every snowstorm, they help shovel the walks and driveways of local seniors and those who are disabled. The idea was born during a snowstorm in 2010 when they wondered who would help those who can't shovel on their own. These kids took full advantage of the snow tonight in Northeast Philadelphia. They grabbed their sleds and glided down the hill at Home and Winchester Avenues. And what about this for a modern invention? 13-year-old Olivia didn't need to use her hands to make snowballs today. She pulled out her snowball maker to play catch with her 1-year-old golden doodle Bailey. And finally tonight, check out baby Bridget, all bundled up for a ride on a mini sled in Delaware County. Mom Tristan, who is a teacher, says that she was excited for a snow day so she could watch her daughter experience winter for the very first time. Jimmy Kimmel Live next on Channel 6, followed by Nightline. Jimmy's guest tonight, Post Malone, Kawhi Leonard, music from Louis Capaldi. Action News continues at 4 a.m. with Tamala Edwards, Matt O'Donnell, meteorologist David Murphy, and Karen Rogers with traffic. They've got a lot to talk about in the morning. Now for the entire Action News team, I'm Jim Gardner. Good night.